Attention, please be advised. The following episode contains spoilers. Don't say we didn't warn you.
What is happening?
Just
a great
would you
thing,
stupefy
Tom.
me?
Nerd On.
What is, everybody? Welcome to Nerd On, the podcast you didn't need, but you deserve. Tom is shaking his head at me.
What is has become the normal, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
can we try?
Which is great.
Nope, it's staying forever.
And you know what? All levels of nerd are welcome here.
Every single
Yep.
one.
Everyone.
Whether you're Slytherin.
Even the
or
ones who love what is.
Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
Even those who are related to Dumbledore.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Unexpectedly.
Spoilers.
very.
Yeah.
They already got the warning.
They already got the warning. It's already
Okay.
happened.
Yeah. So yeah, why don't we introduce ourselves? Go.
My name is Ollie, and I am a Gryffindor.
I'm Tom, and I'm a Slytherin.
My name is Caitlin, and I'm a Gryffindor.
My name is Corey. I'm a Ravenclaw.
My name is Josh, and I am a Gryffindor. And this episode is brought to you in part by our patrons over at Patreon.
I had to say it with him.
The episode's brought to you in part by Patronus Experimento.
Yes. All of our patrons over at patronus.com. But today, yes, we have said there will be some spoilers. Spoilers. So if you haven't seen it,
Revelio.
Revelio spoilerage. If you haven't seen it, pause this, go to your local theater, watch it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll wait.
2 hours and 10 minutes.
And
Yeah.
giving you a little heads up, too, if Corey sounds a little bit like nearly headless Nick, it's because he is.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm a ghosty.
John Cleese.
How
Yes.
can somebody
He's
be
John
nearly
Cleese.
headless?
Because Corey's joining us over on the Source Connect.
I would like to buy a fish license.
Yes. So,
We are recording via the interwebs.
so if he sounds like he's in the Chamber of Secrets, it's because he is.
yes.
And I've
Fighting
been
a
saying that
It's a basilisk.
the entire night.
I'm fighting a basilisk.
But yes, as Josh said, we do have spoilers, but that also brings us to our next part, which is guess that
That
Grump.
That
Bum,
Grump.
bum, bum, bum,
I don't.
Dun, 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 dun.
And copyright strike.
We're killing too hard. So everyone at home, what Guess That Grump is, if you're new to the show, is where if something that we can take is a piece of art, like a TV show or movie or book or comic book or anything like that, that's completed, we rate it out of a scale of 1 to 5. And whoever scales in the lowest, like let's say if Caitlin likes the movie,
which I normally do.
she rates it a 5 out of 5 because that's how she sees
Which
things.
I normally do.
And if there's Josh, who, went to school for audio and it's like, you know what? I don't like where I heard that pop right there. He's like, it's 4.9.
Yeah.
Josh is still the grump of the week. But it doesn't matter because usually it's Ollie and me. So
You're not wrong.
at this point, let's guess who we think is going to be the grumps. I think I'll go first since I always explain it.
You're going to have to tell me when it's my turn to guess because I can't see you looking at me.
Go after.
Yeah, I'm going to popcorn it to you.
Yeah.
I guess it's going to be Corey.
Oh, interesting. I'm guessing it's going to be Ollie.
Oh. I guess it's going to be Tom.
Oh, this little three-way, wand duel over here.
I guess it's going
love
to
triangle.
be Ali.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh, dear.
I guess that it's going to be Corey.
Corey. 2 on Corey, 2 on Ali.
Mm-hmm.
So
One on
me
Tom.
and
One on Caitlin, right?
one on Caitlin.
Really? Was there? What? Who?
I don't think there was one on
No.
Caitlin.
No one
no,
voted
no.
for me.
It was 2 for
that's
Ollie.
right.
Two on
Yeah,
Ali.
that's right.
Two on
One for
Corey.
Tom.
That makes 5. 2, 2, and 1.
Is Nearly Headless Nick also voting? Did he pick me? Did I miss
no.
something?
He did. But with that, now that we've got all our guesses out of the way, everyone at home, please write down who you think it could be. It could be yourself too. But we all have a number in our mind, and that's going to be our rating at the end. Now, sometimes it does change because, we speak in good light of things, Ollie, and that number goes up. And if you're Caitlin, that number goes up because she has 2 numbers all the time. But that would bring us up to our initial reactions. what we thought of the film when we got out of the theater.
It was really good.
Yeah?
Are you going first, Caitlin?
Yeah, it looks like it.
I like the
guess so.
movie.
Okay.
Oh, I couldn't see that coming.
Oh, I know. It's so surprising. No, I really liked it brought all the characters that I've known and loved for a really long time all together doing really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Like the simplest
Shiny
answer.
stuff.
Shiny, pretty, new things.
Yeah.
A deeper exploration into the world and what it's like to live in the wizarding world as a whole. So it was neat to kind of deep dive into all of that information, like the circus and what, there are circus freaks and what
like the
that's
circus?
like, the circus. And seeing Dumbledore young was really interesting.
No, it's Yumbledore.
Yumbledore!
Hashtag Yumbledore.
Wow.
I like Yumbledore and Dumbledam.
Or
I like either one of those.
Daddy.
No, that one's stricken forever.
Yumbledore.
No. Josh, save us.
Save.
Dumbledaddy. Would you Dumbledaddy me?
Oh, God, grown.
I Dumbledaddy me.
No.
Oh, God.
Josh, what'd you like? What was your impressions?
Would you polyjuice me?
Jesus.
Anyway. I fucking loved it. No, I loved it. Do I have some things to say about it? I do. But I walked in and I was like, and I walked out after watching the movie.
Wow, that's like
You
how
know.
I
you
walked
go
in and
into
I turned
a
immediately
theater.
around and walked out.
Yeah. I just stared at the poster
You
for 2 hours.
walked in, shirt was wet, walked out, pants were wet.
Mhm.
Oh.
No, I dug it. I'm just gonna leave it there. Initial reactions. I really dug it.
Okay.
I really dug it.
Mr. Ollie Ollie Oxenfree.
I went in super stoked, and I really enjoyed my time watching the movie happen in front of me.
Opposed to it being
When I
behind
watched
you.
it with my eyes
And,
forward to my person.
I enjoyed my time. I liked the movie was pretty, but I said it that way for a reason. So we'll leave it at that for now.
So I guess that goes to moi. I enjoyed it. It's a sequel. So it's funny because you typically have your sophomore slumps and whatever. But it's funny because most recently with franchises, you tend to find that the sequels tend to find their stride. They tend to figure out what the fuck their actual saga or trilogy is
Empire
about.
Strikes Back syndrome.
Yeah, exactly. And I think to me it was epitomized with fucking Dark Knight. I was like, of course I have to bring in the fucking comic book, Tom. But it's Warner Brothers, the same fucking property. And it's like 2 towers. But yeah,
Nice.
I liked it. And there were some things that I really had to kind of get over from the first one. And there's some characters that I had to get over on this one. But then what happened throughout the film, I was really excited to see the next one. And that to me, I think has done its job.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
Yes.
Mr. Powers.
Mr. Powers. I really liked it. So the first one was a ton of fun. And I really do enjoy Eddie Redmayne as an actor. And I'm blanking on his name right now.
Ezra
But
Miller.
no, I know his name. The guy who was in Balls of Fury, who's the comic relief
Dan
for the film,
Fogler.
essentially. Yeah,
I love him.
He really stood out to me in these films, knowing his past history with college comedies. But this film, going into it, I like I said, I loved the first one. I took a lot of that with me into this. There were a lot of beautiful moments in this. I had a lot of fun. Of course, there was a moment where my jaw was on the floor, but we'll go into that a lot later. But I would just say it's a really fun movie.
Awesome.
Mm.
With that, you
Yeah.
can kind of guess who's going to be the grump with that. Fuck me. I picked the wrong person. But,
Right.
You don't know that.
that brings us to our brief synopsis.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Josh, would you like to take it away?
No.
Okay.
I don't have Corey's
Quickness.
he's got this tight lock memory that remembers everything.
Corey, you want to take it away?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that at all. So we open
Very
with
brief.
very brief. I'm computing. Let me do some numbers. We open with Grindelwald's escape, and then we flash forward 3 months later, where Newt Scamander is trying to get his travel ban lifted by his brother and the rest of the Ministry. He sees his old flame, Leta Lestrange, there, and they kind of reconnect. He eventually is given a proposition where they say either become an aura or your travel ban is going to remain. And he says, you know what? I don't pick sides. I'm not going to do it. So then this other guy, who I don't remember his name completely, Grimson or Grimmin or something like that, decides to take over. And he's obviously very evil. He's got that Slugworth kind of syndrome from Willy Wonka. And so then we fast forward and he's in France because why did he go to France? He heard about Creedance going there, and essentially he finds
his girl was
that's
there.
right, Tina is there, and he finds out Dumbledore finds him. This glove finds him and brings him to a really gaudy roof, as he puts it. And Dumbledore asks him to go save Creedance because he believes that he needs to be saved, and I think there's good in him and that kind of thing. And he essentially says no at first. I don't pick sides. Why are you doing this to me? And he's like, because you always do the right thing. And Dumbledore is wise beyond belief still because he's Dumbledore. Or what do we call him? Yumbledore?
Yumbledore.
And so he gives him this card to this enchanted hideout should he choose to go. Of course he goes. And then he meets up with Queenie and
Tina?
not Tina yet. Jacob, thank you. I was going to say John.
Sorry.
That's not right. And they find him there, and Jacob is enchanted, and him and Queenie kind of get in a fight because he's like, I do love you, but, we can't get married because of the rules in America and that kind of thing. And they kind of essentially break up. And then from there, he finds out that Grindelwald is also in France, and he finds Tina, and she thinks that he is married to, or going to be married to Lita Lestrange, who is actually going to be married to his brother. And so that's a whole love triangle thing. Anyway, they go on this adventure to try to find Creedance. They meet up with a very, very old man eventually at one point who is actually Nicholas Flamel, which I thought was that was one of those moments that I was like,
coolest thing.
But before they all meet up, there is a man named in France who finds Tina first
Corvus?
and kind of falsely imprisons her. Yeah.
Comma.
Yeah.
Comma.
And
Corvus is who they think Creedance is.
Oh.
Right.
That's right.
Comma is the
and
original.
Because he believes everyone believes that Creedance is this Lestrange kid, and there's this whole weird love triangle where the Lestrange mother was stolen away from his father, and he was sworn to this pact where if I don't kill him, then I die, kind of thing. But it turns out that Creedance isn't that kid because Lita Lestrange actually killed her brother by accident on a ship a long time ago. And eventually this leads them to this tomb where Grindelwald has called everyone, all of his believers, to kind of say, hey, it's either us or the No-Maj. And I believe the No-Maj and Muggles have a purpose, but it is far below us, and we need to protect us first. Yeah.
Different.
And yeah, but you know what he means.
Yeah.
And
I have really big pickings with that, but go on.
So then the auras come, and even though Dumbledore warned them not to go break it up, they do, and he pins them as the bad guys because one of his followers tries to cast the killing curse on an aura, and he casts it first, killing one, and Grindelwald uses that to turn them, and he basically kills anyone who doesn't join him in this fiery blue flame. And Lita actually sacrifices herself to save Newt and everyone else. And it's this really cool moment because after Nicholas Flamel comes and they save all of Paris from these fire dragons that Grindelwald was setting on the town, he kind of turns to his brother, who they've hated each other pretty much from the beginning, or not really understood each other, I should say. And he hugs his brother Theseus and says, I've chosen my side. And they've essentially decided that they're going to take down Grindelwald. That's the briefest I could do it.
And then
at the very end,
he gives Dumbledore this blood pact. There's a reason why Dumbledore couldn't attack Grindelwald, and Grindelwald reveals to Creedance who his identity is as Aurelius Dumbledore.
He's a Dumbledore.
And because the baby fucking scraggly ass bird he has is actually a fucking phoenix and only reveals itself to a Dumbledore when they are in need. Mm-hmm. And here he goes.
And then he destroys the mountain.
Destroys half a mountain without saying one word.
Well, just because I'm going to go on a side tangent.
Yes, please.
Just because that moment when he kind of shoots the wand out, I was like, because the thing about an Excurial is that they're
it's
wizards.
Magic.
It's suppressed magic, and it's like you finally get to use it.
Unleash the beast.
Unleash the beast. It was just one of those things that I was like,
yeah. Oh, and then the Ministry. I forgot. The Ministry finally trusts Dumbledore. and Newt, essentially.
Yeah.
And they kind of go off together, and they're like, all right, let's do this thing, because Newt, one of his little animals, stole the blood pact.
Niffler.
So now Dumbledore could probably
Nifflers.
find a way to destroy it. And if he can destroy it, then he can fight Grindelwald.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what
So
we
there we
find
are.
out this entire series is about.
Because Grindelwald and Dumbledore were a thing.
We're
Lovers.
Correct.
big
They were
thing.
lovers.
Yeah.
They were more. They were
Yeah,
closer
they were
than
in love.
brothers.
I literally had a moment after I saw the movie where I was like, yeah, I was like, wow, that's like pretty serious to be like, we were more than brothers. And then they were just like real good friends. And my friend Rochelle turned to me and was like, Caitlin,
Shout out to
Dumbledore's
Rochelle.
gay. And I was like, oh yeah.
Cue the Tim and Eric mind blown.
Yeah, and it was
Yeah.
just one of those things that while I was watching the movie, I just assumed that those things aren't going to happen in movies. So then when it did, I was like, oh, all right.
And I think the cool thing, I was talking to my roommate Rashid, who's a big Harry Potter nerd. I think
Shout out to Rashid.
we all have like our own designated one. Josh, you just happen to be your own. But I was talking to him,
Truths.
and I was like, I feel like they could have played it out a little bit more because I feel like it's
Yeah.
an older audience.
That's
but
my
also,
thing, yeah.
They probably will.
I think the reason why they didn't, and it's kind of like that logic fact. This is like in the 1930s, and so it's even
It's a very
worse.
different time.
It's even worse than it is like even now
Yeah.
of like writing characters who are gay like in public. And I
Yeah.
was like, damn, that sucks, but it's good. It's
Yeah.
like you,
Yeah.
you
No, it
feel
was
that
a-
like
it was-
I want to see it, and that's how I think you should feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Um,
I feel like we're going to get that in the next one. But
yeah. So just some numbers. Obviously, thank you, Corey, for your brief synopsis.
thank you.
Director by David Yates, who started directing the Harry Potter movies after the Order of the Phoenix, and he is already slated to do the rest of the saga. So there's 3 more
Did I
films
re-
after this.
There's
I was going to say,
3.
did I recall there's like 5 or 6?
3 more movies. This is
Yeah.
like supposed to be a 5-movie saga,
Oh.
and he's slated to do those
Yeah.
ones. And the funny,
They've already
Not a
like said
trilogy.
5.
Oh.
There will be 5.
Okay.
and written by J.K. Rowling, who is the one who created it. And the funny thing is that it says written by. This is written by, not screenplay
Yeah.
by, story by. This is written by. So both are under her jurisdiction.
Wow.
And there's, Josh, correct me if I'm wrong, no source material for like.
Not
There's
really.
slight
wrote a
ones, but like
screenplay.
these are all details that she's now filling in.
Yeah.
Like, we all
There's
know,
like the
like-
Fantastic Beast book that was made for fun.
Yeah, but I mean, we all know
Because
there's
it's referenced in the novel, but that's about it.
yeah, we all know there's a Newt. We all know there's a Grindelwald. We all know there's a young Dumbledore. But
I know
now,
that some of it is like, because you had the Pottermore website.
Referenced.
That, you have the Pottermore website that had some pretty incredible
lore.
like fan fiction, but
Oh.
she would also kind of like
Utilize.
add her own things. Like
Hmm.
it was through Pottermore that we learned that Dumbledore was he was born in 1881. Like she named a date, like and like all these kinds of things, and she was pretty active with that audience. So now it's almost kind of like I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little bit of like that's a great detail. Let's get that out because.
Yeah, and
Anyway,
like
go
on
on,
the chocolate frog, it says that Dumbledore defeated Grindelwald. So like, I'm
We
like,
know it's going to
what?
get there, but
Yeah.
how?
Yeah.
Produced by David Heyman, who did all of the Harry Potters. You heard it, I mean, all of the Harry Potter
Every
movies.
Yes.
single one.
Yes, Man, Caitlin's favorite movie, I Am Legend. Boy in the Striped Pajamas, which
Wow.
is Tears for
Oh.
Days. Gravity with Alfonso Cuarón. Right? Yeah, Alfonso Cuarón. And Paddington 1 and 2, which both have 99
Small Bears.
They're
plus.
so good.
They're 99 plus on Rotten Tomatoes.
They
just
are
saying.
What?
so good.
Yeah, they're
Really?
99%
Yeah,
plus.
I went into the theaters thinking that too. Like we went because Movie Pass, and also like, let's just go watch a movie, and we're children. So we went and we watched it. Paddington 2 especially. We literally walked out and we were like, what the fuck?
Is this
I remember
real?
you
That was
texted me that day.
so
I think
funny.
after 2,000 reviews, it still had 100%. Anyways,
Oh.
Damn.
Yeah.
J.K. Rowling, who's now part of the
I like
PGA, who started producing ever since Deathly Hallows Part 1. So she's produced 2 Harry Potter movies before she started this saga. She also has other producing roles in other TV shows that she started creating.
Yeah.
Steve Kloves, who's a screenplay writer for all the Harry Potter movies, and also Corey's favorite, Amazing Spider-Man, with all the skateboarding. Produced Fantastic Beasts 1 and 2.
This is the one thing he focuses on.
1 and 2, and the upcoming Andy Serkis Mowgli movie. Lionel Wingham.
I'm gonna start saying the Raimi Spider-Mans. You know, the one with all the crying.
Yes. Go ahead. I'll tell you about that. Lionel Ringram, Sherlock Holmes, Man from U.N.C.L.E., King Arthur, which to me, this producer is the one that sticks out more than all of them. Which
Yeah.
really, like,
Yeah, I agree.
this is now the Warner Brothers look of King Arthur 2017 as well as he did another film recently, and EP for most of the Harry Potter films. So like the executive producer for all those films, and now became like a working producer. Studio distributed Warner Brothers, so you know they're making that money. Warner Brothers getting all that money, all the fucking IPs. Cast Eddie Redmayne, Kathleen Waterston, which I found out was a cool thing was Alison Sudol, who plays Queenie,
Yeah.
who's a Fine Frenzy.
I don't know.
It's
really?
a musician, yeah.
Oh,
and
wow.
like I listened to her when I was in
had no
high
idea.
school.
Oh, nice.
And I was
I
like,
didn't know that.
what the hell?
That's awesome.
You made me cry so much in high school.
You made me cry.
Anyways,
So much.
we get to see full blown Johnny Depp as fucking Grindelwald, which is dope.
Full blown.
Full blown. Zoe Kravitz.
John Depp.
You get some Ezra Miller, Dan Fogler. Score by James Howard Newton. So same score as all the Harry Potter movies. Runs at a 2 hours and 14 minutes. And it's 200 million. Yes.
I want to make a honorable mention on the cast.
Please.
Jude Law.
Well, of course, Jude Law, but
Because
no,
Jude Law.
I was actually quite impressed with this casting in a way that it was Newt's brother,
Yeah.
Theseus,
Callum Turner.
like they're not brothers in real life, but you just watch it and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
They did a great
Yeah, that
job. And
casting
he
was
was good.
phenomenal.
You get
And
the
he was-
dynamic in the
yeah.
first interaction they have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is like, I mean, like, and this to me, like, I had to learn this later on, like figuring out like Newt's like pretty much on the spectrum,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like how his brother is really kind of like he's
Not.
taking care of him, but he's also kind of
Yeah.
like tired of his shit, but he's also like, I'm still always going to be here
Theseus
for
is like, he's the jock brother.
you. Yeah, which
You
is
know?
like
Yeah.
you quickly establish that it's like
He's trying to understand his brother, but they
It's
just
really
can't
hard.
communicate.
And he's tired.
Yeah.
He's tired.
Also, Claudia Kim as Nagini, which is huge.
Yes,
Yeah.
Claudia
Yeah.
Kim as Nagini, which
That
is huge.
was
We shall
great.
talk.
As a Maledictus.
Yeah.
Yeah, we shall
Um,
talk.
Budget 200 million. Opening
Oh.
weekend $253.2 million. So
Damn.
already making all that money back.
Yeah.
And
Ooh,
it's only
baby.
been the opening weekend. And at Wizarding World up in Universal Studios, they're now selling all the new wands.
Of course.
So they're making
Oh.
all that new money.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
All those Niffler stuffed animals.
Oh.
And it sits.
We have a Niffler in the studio. It's right there.
Oh, yeah.
There he is.
Oh, Jesus
you really?
Christ.
Yeah, we have a Niffler. It's a Niffler Funko.
It's next to the Flash.
Oh,
poster.
Oh,
my
yes,
God.
yes,
I
yes.
like for real panicked. I was like, what?
Yeah.
But they're so cute.
Watch your valuables.
And it sits nice and comfortably at Rotten Tomatoes at a 40%
Okay.
And then a 71% audience score
audience score.
Mhm.
Of course.
at the time.
Further telling the point that we've been talking about ever since we started the show, that the audience and critics are two different beasts, and so are we.
Mhm.
Yep.
We are the third beast.
Yes.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
But yeah, so I mean, do you want to talk about it? Want to get into favorite parts? Because I feel like there's a lot to unpack with this film.
There
it's a
is.
sequel. It's about this beautiful world that we've all
Yeah.
grown to love, and we've talked about it with our friend Mikey.
I can start us off because I have some things I wanted to say because to our audience we did not cover the first one
Yes.
because there's some things character wise and character choices that I want to kind of talk about that I've had through conversations with my wife and stuff like that it rubbed some people the wrong way or did not or they liked that I didn't, and I just want to touch on a few things. And of course the biggest thing that I've talked about with people is the characterization of Newt Scamander. And there are a lot of people who fall on one side or the other where his nervousness either annoys them or people love it. I am on the line of people who love the characterization because of one moment. Because at first it kind of bugged me. The first I was like, I get it, he's shy, whatever. But the first moment you see him in the first movie in the case with the animals, where he's suddenly looking every animal in the eye, he's standing up straight, he's not stuttering, he's in his element, I thought was a really wonderful character choice. And I don't know if you guys felt that as well. But it made me, that moment, that showing that other side of him actually made me fall in love with this character.
For me, I second that as well, and I got a real strong sense of it in this movie with him returning back to his like lab for lack of a
For the
better
Kelpie
term.
and stuff.
Yeah, like he was in control. He has his assistant.
Who's assistant who's in love with him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This became a
hardcore.
harem
Very much
genre
so.
real quick.
yeah.
And I was like, damn, bro, you got all these beautiful women on your side.
But yeah, I definitely felt that it's peculiar sometimes, and I'm like, it doesn't need to go that far. But then other times when he takes command, it kind of restores that character.
It grounds it a little bit, because
more,
then you're
yeah.
like, oh, there he is in his element, because he's very uncomfortable around humans, and that's his whole thing, is that like he understands animals on a fundamental level. And I forget what's that phrase he says where he's like, there's no monsters, just cruel people or something like that.
Yeah. Well, he says these
Yeah.
creatures, these innocent creatures, are on the loose, and one of the most, I don't know, I'm
Paraphrase.
using my words, the most dangerous creatures in the world, like, or something like that, referring to humans, and it's like,
Yeah.
I'm on the same place where Newt, yes, at first it was like, okay, that's an interesting choice, but as the stories unfold, you're like, you know what, I completely understand, because he gets creatures, and he's like, there's a few moments in this where he's like, no, you don't understand, there are no dangerous creatures, you just think that they are. And it's like, he gets, like, for me, I would consider myself an animal lover. When I look at an animal, I'm like, you're like a person to me, and I see, like, there's this connection. So it's like with Newt, I'm like, I totally get it.
For me, like with Newt, it's been like, I would say, like, I teeter-totter back and forth. Like at the first movie, the whole sequence with the rhino thing on the ice rink just made me cringe. And I
loved it as a it's my wife and I talked about it. It's a very theater person scene.
And so for me, I was just like, this is very much for me. And
this is of the much.
This is of the much. This is in that echelon of much, and there's the echelon of not much. And so like it was very much for me. And like I still liked him as a character. I like that he stammers, that he doesn't look people directly in the eye. He has a certain walk cycle. Video game reference. But like things like that where it's like I get the character and I see it, but there's parts of it where it's like, though it's not that it rubs me the wrong way or I hate it, but it's where it's like, I don't like it.
Well, it's distracting, I think, sometimes.
Maybe, but I mean, like in the second one, he does, like, I don't think his character quote unquote changed so much that he might have learned a lesson or two or fallen in love, and his character continues to grow. But it's like what Dumbledore says, like, you don't choose for glory or for power, you choose what's right. And he does some of those weird, quirky things, but I liked it so much better in this one because they weren't like him snorting with like a CGI animal.
See, I loved that scene, but that's just where we differ.
It's like him licking the ground. I'm like,
I've also had to do theater exercises back when I was in school for it, where that's basically what you have to do. You just have to get outside your comfort zone and do that. So to me, it wasn't foreign. To me, it was just like, oh, there's that theater exercise. Got it.
Yeah.
It didn't. But the other, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, it doesn't. I can see where you're talking about, Tom, of it being mush. I mean, for me, it's the world. I mean, for me, it's like, okay, this we're living in a kooky world.
Well, yeah,
that's what they're presenting to us.
That's his character,
and it's and again, that's his character. He's willing to do if the mating call or the mating dance of this creature is this, then he's gonna do it.
Like it's like if fucking what's the dad Dursley?
Because no one else will.
Yeah,
the dad Dursley who does like a mouth clap, a mouth snap, whatever.
Yeah.
That's his character. I may not like it, but that's his character. And I'm like, I'm not gonna be like vehemently upset if I hear it more.
Yeah, it just didn't hit the mark with you.
Well, it's not that it hits the mark. It's just like I tend to prefer like the fucking machismo '90s action hero because I grew up on that. But to me,
so
I
it
think
didn't hit the mark for you.
Well, no, I think what's important is that like he changes that, and he makes the new kind of hero. And to that, it's more of like you have to like. It's kind of like you're trying to engage and figure out like how does this character's arc differ, and how is it better, and how is it like different. And so like
I get that.
It's not about hitting a mark. It's about like how do I engage with this?
I think the first movie was really just like trying to get you to understand it, and then the second movie it kind of grows on you more, and then since you understand it a little better, then you can appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, I like the fact that he wasn't Harry Potter, that he wasn't like a kid who didn't know anything. That he knows a shit ton.
He's very knowledgeable,
and it's a little bit more
he
like
knows more than almost every wizard, I believe, knows about a lot of the animals.
Yeah, and he's still a vehicle that teaches you like this is the American world, which I was sad that we never got back to the American world. But
I know, same.
I also really quickly before we dive into 2 want to give a shout out to Dan Fogler and Alison Sudol, because I think first of all, Dan Fogler, coming from movies that I've known him from like Balls of Fury or Take Me Home Tonight, which I would refer to as like frat comedies or college comedies.
Yeah.
Coming into something like this where he really owns that character he's in. Yeah. Like the first movie with the shots of giggle water. I rewound that and watched that like 6 times.
Yeah, he has a couple of those moments in this too, where
he throws the beer on himself.
Yeah, and before they apparate, he takes one more shot and is just like,
Yeah.
And then Alison Sudol, her characterization of Queenie, especially in the first film, I every time she was on screen, I couldn't help but watch her.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. She had that effect. She's in the base for days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those were just some standout performances to me personally from that first film that I just like had to mention because I thought about them days later. But the second film for me, I like because it does take a darker approach. And it reminds me very much of like the first Harry Potter to Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah.
Where it's this like, okay, we've told you about the fantastical part of the world, but let me tell you of the dangers of it as well. Like there's some baggage that comes along with being a wizard. And now we know who, like that opening 10-minute sequence was phenomenal.
Cool. Yeah.
Like I was on the edge of my seat. And then when the titles came up, I was like, oh, that's right. It's the opening.
We haven't even gotten to it yet.
I don't know how you guys felt about that as well, the opening there.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been a huge fan of the title sequences for Harry Potter. I think it's just part of the excitement of maybe like being really excited to watch a Harry Potter movie, but like flying through the WB logo. And then this time we get the official Wizarding World logo, which I really do
with
hope.
All the wands.
Oh. Yeah. With which after these 5 films, I mean, I'm convinced that they're going to continue it.
Oh,
In some way. Yeah.
Because I think that's why why else have the Wizarding World thing?
So they could
Because you already have the Fantastic Beasts branding.
Because it's a new production company. Tax breaks.
There you go.
There it is.
But
from
a
a creative standpoint, yes, I totally
love
get
that.
it.
And then I was like, oh, but where's the title of the movie? And then we get that sequence first, and then we get the title.
film language 101. I'm telling you, what happens before the title of the movie is usually what sets up the entire movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I like that moment where it sets up the character, and it's like I've mentioned this I think on past podcasts, but definitely in conversations with people about filming about Save the Cat, where they have their hero in the first 5 minutes of the film save a cat, so you know exactly what this character is about. Like he loves life and will save lives. But having Johnny Depp throw his lizard out the window for being needy, you know exactly who he is for the rest of the film. You're like, oh shit. Okay.
Yep.
So this is who we're dealing with here. His own lizard, who helped him escape, mind you, is now useless to him. So he chucks it. So I thought that was a great, like Tom said, film language is setting up what you're going to see for the film.
It doesn't serve the greater good.
Well,
So
I mean, yeah.
Needy.
I'll just, since we're talking about the opening sequence, like the one thing I will say, like I didn't like too much about it was the whole rain and the thunder clapping and all that shit. Cause I was kind of like, I don't know what I'm looking at.
It was a little dark, I'll say
Well, I mean, the funny thing is like with CGI and all that stuff, that's like the right thing you do. You do it in dark, you do it with rain. So you don't have to like get all the details you need. It kind of like hides it. But to me, it kind of like made it a little distracting. But like other than that, like, yeah, like it's the fucking great train robbery with Johnny Depp.
Mm-hmm.
It's him getting out. So it's like,
also Johnny Depp is terrifying. When he's just sitting in the coach quietly, that was very unsettling.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, it's good. I think are we almost to the point where we talk about some favorite parts?
Yeah, I mean, I was just kind of free flowing with it. So
Yeah.
Josh,
we're gonna get through the whole movie.
From the beginning till the
I will say that I'm with Ollie. Watching a Harry Potter film, or now going into the Wizarding World, the bigger picture, I really have always loved the title reveal. It's just like, yes. So I mean, that was one of those moments where you watch this scene, and you're like, oh shit. And then that happens, and you're like, "Oh my god, it's amazing! I'm so excited!"
Yelling. It's just lots of yelling.
And that's just for the WB logo.
That's why I don't watch movies with Josh anymore.
There's constant. Shh. No, I do not. Talk
they
during
made the logo like a little dirty.
Yeah. Oh god, it's so good.
What about Nicholas Flamel?
Okay, so I have,
And also with Nagini, talk us about all things.
Start with Nicholas real quick. For those who don't know who Nicholas Flamel is.
Well, Nicholas Flamel was kind of a friend of the Dumbledore in the days, and but he created the Sorcerer's Stone, and this dude is old as fuck.
Super
Because
old.
he's essentially immortal because he has the Sorcerer's Stone. He's an alchemist.
Would you get that cameo of?
You do. So my favorite parts would be, I love the circus. I love the creatures, like that one creature that was based on
A kappa?
the
The
cat.
Japanese turtle?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
It's the turtle
The
demon.
dragon.
Oh, no, the cat thing.
The
Yeah.
Chinese
Chinese.
Zouwoo.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
the Chinese one, yeah.
That creature, when it's just this ravenous beast, and then Newt just kind of gets the cat toy out.
Mhm.
It just
It's like,
and it was just kind of like that Puss in Boots moment when he kind
Yeah.
of looks up with his like kitten
That's
eyes.
actually the moment I was going to talk about as my favorite. But as a cat person, that moment was amazing to me.
so it was perfect.
Yeah. I mean, we can spitball with this because there's so many moments that I'm
There's
just like,
so
ooh.
many moments.
Uh,
It's hard to put a spotlight on someone and just be like, "What's your favorite part?" It's like, they're like 50. I don't know which one to pick. Flamel's run also his little like
Oh
deep,
my
deep,
God.
deep, deep,
because
like
he'll
the
just
little run across the
shatter
room.
if he doesn't.
Every
yeah, the
time he tried to
handshakes.
shake his hand.
Because he probably created the first, like, you got milk ad because his bones would just shatter.
Something like that. I really liked Nagini and Creedance, and their like kind of dependency on each other. It felt like I was rooting for them, even though I
yeah.
knew that things weren't going to go well.
They're the runaway lovers.
Yeah, the runaway lovers, and I wanted to see them be happy, and it didn't really work out very well for them.
I will say,
Oh, go ahead, Tom.
go ahead.
I was going to say for our followers at home, Josh, if you don't mind explaining what the importance of Nagini is.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Okay, so
I'm after.
so let me. I do want to kind of talk about the Nagini thing.
Eli 5.
Well,
Explain
not,
like I'm
not,
5.
not in a bad thing.
By the way, that beast is called the Zouwoo.
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 Okay, so the lead up to this movie, there's a couple of things that I would like to talk about that I think is interesting to talk about with this movie and its casting. But the thing about Nagini and the casting of what is her name?
Who?
Oh crap!
Oh, Claudia Kim?
Yeah, Claudia Kim.
Sorry.
People were really upset
Oh.
that she was Asian.
That she was-
That she
What?
was. She was.
Can I add on top with you?
Yes, please.
There was a video that was released. It was kind of like this nice photo shoot, and you had the entire cast. I believe Josh and I are referencing the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, it was like an E! Entertainment or Variety. And it was like beautifully done and everything like that. And then they're like going round robin of like, who do you play and what are you excited about? Blah, blah. And there was a moment, and it was kind of like, this is the reveal. And it's like, she's like, can I say it out loud? And because it's like NDAs, right?
Yeah.
And then she looks at the cast and they're like, yeah, you can say it. And then she's like, I'm Nagini. And then everyone's like, oh, everyone at the studio is like, oh shit, this is fucking amazing. And the internet just fucking decided to be the internet and was like,
Oh, it's slavery.
Asian
and all
people
this
shouldn't
kind of
be
stuff.
blah, blah.
And
The
here's the thing.
railroad days, remember those?
So for a second, I was kind of on that because I'm usually pretty oversensitive of that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh man. How are they going to do this? And so going into this movie, I was a little apprehensive. And then the reveal of why this makes sense, of why this
Yeah.
is, and what kind of, I'm going to say kind of creature, kind of curse she has. I was just like,
The blood curse.
I was,
Maledictus, right?
it was a moment that I got chills because I was like, you guys, you just wanted to stand up and be like, yes,
Yeah.
that it makes sense. Nagini is Voldemort's
Horcrux.
Horcrux, the
and
snake.
And Snake, who
The
kills
snake.
a bunch of people in the later films.
Can I add?
So, well, I was just gonna say is that what I'm so fucking excited is that okay, so nothing happens for no reason, and so I'm sure in the later movies we're gonna start to see the worlds cross. I mean, I know that it's the same world, but the stories are gonna start kind
Overlapping.
of like this is leading to this is leading to this, and this is why this happens. And so I'm really but here's the thing, I am a sucker for knowing where something comes from.
Yeah.
Oh, like a
Oh, man.
lore bit, a cameo bit.
When I get that, I'm like, you got me. Cool. I'm good. Here's my money. I just want to know where the things I love come from.
Well, and we're not.
Now you want to know? You want to see where Angelina Jolie comes from?
Here's
Well,
John
we're not-
Voight's
boy.
ball sack.
We're not getting these things in book form, like ahead of the movies. 'Cause,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when we were, you would read Harry Potter and then you'd get excited about the movies because you're like, oh man, I
Now
can't
I get to see
possibly
it.
picture what this looks like. And then you see it and you're like, oh, it's even better than what I imagined.
And it's probably they use it in their marketing, like from the mind of J.K. Rowling.
Right. And so to know that you can dive back into that world and figure out the lore that you always kind of wished that you knew
Yeah.
and then you can't access it any other way than by watching the movies. So
Yeah.
like I'm already like, I want the next one.
I what I wanted to add
Yes.
All I'm gonna say is
I'm just kidding.
I'm just so glad I can hear Nagini's name be said any other way other than Voldemort's Nagini.
Nagini.
I'm like, could you not? It's being so extra, bro.
Oh, Rafe.
Nagini. It's like, okay. It's just Nagini here. But I mean,
it kind of explains why Voldemort is so protective of it as well, because
of her.
Of her. But yes, Horcrux, totally get that. But it's
still.
also Voldemort understands. I think that he does. Yes, he's evil. I totally get that.
But he understands.
But he has an evil understanding of people, and so he understands Nagini's curse. He understands what's but here's the thing. I don't know. He may not know. He may just be like, "This is a fucking snake. I got a snake now. Yay!"
Or hopefully,
what if we get to find out?
Or
how he gets.
I know.
This is speculative, which we don't normally do. But it's like, what if he's super evil and he's the one that forces her to stay in snake form?
Well,
they said
it's not forces her. It just happens over time.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
that's what
like,
the blood curse is.
Kind of like, what if he speeds it up? What if he fucks up some shit? I'm just saying,
I
like,
doubt it, because that's like 50
the only
or 60
issue
years.
is, I was gonna say, because that was his parents were
Dumbledore
in
is
the
like 200
70s.
years old. It's fine.
Yeah.
And this is all the 30.
This is the 30s. This is
At the end of the
1927.
day,
Yeah.
I'm excited to figure out how she ends up with Voldemort, and I know it's coming.
Yeah.
Just keep your eyes on that IMDb for Ray Fiennes, and you'll.
No, they're gonna take him off until the movie.
He would totally
releases.
come back.
But to speak upon the little like whole outburst of all that stuff, like Asians enslaved and all that shit. Look at all the fucking like other attractions at the carnival. They're all
I know.
from Asia.
Yeah.
So it's probably like, yeah, they were probably
But
fucking
you gotta
taken.
look at the time too. It's
Well, yeah,
like-
and to me that it's like if she was just the one Asian person is a fucking snake, and then everything's like this is a European thing, this is a blah 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 thing. It's like why I gotta make it Asian? But it's like no, this fool just fucking stole all these animals from like Asia. And it's like
Different parts of Asia,
It just makes
and
sense.
then just
To me, that's where it makes sense.
made
where
a
it's like-
circus.
And something that they did really well was grounding it in the time that it existed. Because
Yeah.
the circus is a really great example of that. But then Grindelwald's like argument for why they need to rise up against humanity
which
was the World War II.
yeah.
So it was just like that actually blew my mind a little bit.
Yeah.
Like
It
it
was-
hit me out of left field, and I was like, "Holy
Like a war's
shit.
coming.
Yeah.
This is the most like legitimate thing that you could ever put up." And it's kind of like a Thanos thing. You kind of root for him a little bit because you're like, maybe don't let
One of
them
my
do
favorite-
that.
One of my favorite parts of this is the
I'm
fact
so proud
that
of you, Kaylin.
that it's a period piece. Like that's
period
my
piece?
that's one of
Yeah.
my favorite parts of this is that it's in the 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's
the Art
firmly
Deco
grounded
and-
there.
Yeah.
Like there's no question in your mind that they were being vague and you're like, oh, it's magic
No,
time.
they
I
show
don't
you
know.
years on screen.
Yeah. Like they're very specific about it and it's grounded in our world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like going through the statues and stuff
Yeah.
was baller.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you're getting something that we knew in Harry Potter, where it was the platform 9 3/4, where you walk through, and it's like we didn't get anything much like that else, because they made such a big deal of
Yeah.
that, and so now you get this
Yeah.
new thing where it's like, oh, they walk through the statue.
By the way, it happens all the time.
But the cool thing is like very Cloak and Dagger. It
Yeah.
kind of puts a little like James Bondy espionage Cold War feel.
yeah,
So it's really cool. Since we're talking about
Just for that statue, I want to give a little shout out to that security guard that was standing in front of it and they make him like drunk.
Yeah.
He did such a good job.
really good.
I couldn't think about anything else. Like I was like, oh, they're getting away, whatever. But he is really funny.
talking about favorite parts, mine's only one favorite part. It's salamander eyes.
Salamander eyes.
Salamander
so
eyes
good.
is
Or
like,
how she knew it.
when she knew, and they're both their eyes are glassy, and I was just like, this is, and it's one of my. It later on becomes one of my qualms, but like, yeah, that was like my favorite part because to me, I'm like, fuck yes, like get
It
it.
became your calm.
We'll talk a little bit more about it, but like,
Wow.
this is like, I was like, who you gonna be with, Newt? Who's it gonna be? I can't deal with this. This is like
Maybe
some
he doesn't know.
CW shit that I can't deal with right now. I need to know right now.
he
Who
doesn't
do you
know
love?
Tom.
Well,
Who
at
do you
that
love?
them
at that
both.
point,
And
he
how
doesn't
deep
It
know.
is some CW shit.
And how
because
deep
it's
is
the
your
WB.
love? I know.
Like, it is, that's all it is.
I guess who he's gonna be with kind of got answered because
Can't be with the one you love, so love the one you're with. I'm just kidding.
there only
Wow.
became
I'm
there was like option 1 and option 2, and then there was only
Option-
option,
but like
1.
to be honest, we all knew before.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
We all knew before anything was final who he chose.
And the thing is, like, who did she say I love you to?
Oh, I know. Oh my
That was
God.
great. That was one of my favorite moments.
That literally
For sure.
stopped me
Well-
because when she said "I love you," I was like, "Wait, wait, wait!"
pretty sure it was
no,
Newt.
no,
Because
go back.
first-
Who is she looking at?
I think
Because
she
first
said
it's
to
Newt,
Pretty sure
and then
it's
it
Newt.
cuts back and it's both of them, and I went, "Oh shit!"
No, I think
Oh
I
my
think it was
God.
meant to like show that like, oh, the brother also took it as like she's talking to him, but then she's actually talking to Newt.
The way I kind of saw it was like she said it definitely to Newt, but the way I see their relationship is like it's peanut butter and peanut butter, and like Tina's jelly,
Mm-hmm.
peanut butter and jelly.
Crunchy and smooth.
Got that Scamander sandwich.
Or she was just casting a large
You
net,
mean
guys.
Lita? You said Tina,
that.
Or
but I
she was
think you
just
meant Lita.
casting a large
No,
net and
Tina.
was like, I got both of them right in front of me. I love you.
Tina is the girl that's Auror, who's the girl from the first movie, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's the jelly because she's not necessarily like
She's my
Newt.
bae for days.
like Lita, who's a
Oh,
Slytherin.
I
was
now
like
understand.
Newt.
She
I
makes
thought
him
you were
stronger.
saying
Yeah, they were both.
that the Scamander brothers were the peanut butter and peanut butter, and the
No.
Lita
No,
was
no,
the.
no, no.
I now understand.
We're making
the-
two different sandwiches here.
He's saying that Tina makes Newt stronger, which he does.
Yes,
and like
yes,
he
yes.
even says that at one point, I think.
yeah.
Tina's
Peanut-
Nutella.
Yeah.
Don't throw in more food. I'm just gonna get really lost.
Any
The suitcase is the bread, and Jacob is
God damn it! No,
glass of milk.
it's too far.
and Queenie's nuts.
is the nuts. yeah, there it is.
All right, we're gone
any
forever.
other favorite parts we want to mention?
I had a favorite part.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
which was
I
my
have one
actual
too.
favorite part of the movie, and one that I wish we got a little bit more of, in certain respects, and that is when is it Creedance? Right?
Yes, Ezra Miller.
Yeah, Creedance.
Well, I mean, it's Aurelius
Yeah, Aurelius.
or
Now
Corvus.
that we know Corvus.
Who do you want?
Take your pick. Well, where Dumbledore knew, kind of unleashed in that apartment or in that penthouse or whatever that
yeah.
was.
Yeah. Obscure.
Like, and he like
There
was
was
trying
kinda
to
like-
crush him and
Yeah.
Oh, the Obscurus power.
yeah, obscure his power and
The guy that Grindelwald
let
knew.
loose on that and just try to kept trying to crush that guy. And I just thought that like the raw like display of power was like, and I was in an IMAX theater too, so the sound was like really
damn.
impressive.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
That was
and-
amazing
Yeah, so
visually as well.
yeah, and I mentioned that because I do wish there was more like battles, but I'll go into that more later.
I wanted a side tangent because I'm really jealous of the fact that you went to an IMAX.
Yes.
Because
Yeah, same.
I went to this place that Corey and I know and love. It's called the Lemley.
Lemon.
And they open late, and I got a PTSD moment of working in retail where like they open late, and I was there like when they opened, and people outside were like, "This is ridiculous." I'm like, "Dude, it's Friday, and we're watching Harry Potter. Get a
You need to
fucking
chill."
grip. Get a fucking grip. There's 20 minutes of trailers before this movie starts. You can't wait 5 minutes for them to
Get your
open.
You'll be
priorities
fine.
right.
Jeez, I know we're all excited. I'm excited too. My
Take a
pants are
step
all
back
wet, but Jesus.
And look at the facts here.
But
It's Friday and we're seeing Harry
I
Potter.
know, it's like it's not that bad. Our life's not that bad.
It was a converted, obviously, but it was the sound was good.
I was gonna say the sound
Yeah.
though. That
That's
sound though.
that's the thing to take away from the converted theaters is that they bring in they do the sound right, even though the screen is the same, like whatever size screen.
Josh, what say you about sound?
Whole episode about sound.
So my favorite part
There we go.
Corey.
was the second time we see the Zouwoo when he rides it, and
Oh,
it's fighting the familiars. Who he's
Ah,
like,
yes.
they won't hurt you unless you fight them. And just the shots in that, and like I know it's all CGI, but like the moment he spins out and his mane ignites.
Oh, yeah.
Visually for me was
was
one of those
awesome.
moments where I felt like I was a kid again, and I was like, "It's real," and like I just like I got that like I got filled with excitement in that moment in this movie that I haven't for quite a while. Like this type of innocent excitement that even Marvel can't get from me because like the Marvel movies are so like fucking heavy.
Yeah.
But like. That moment for me, it really stood out, and it was one of the top moments that when I think about going back to see it again, because I will with my wife, that I'm like really looking forward to. So I thought that was a great way to fight those things.
No, I think you touch upon something. The cool thing that like the Marvel movies don't have is that everyone's really human, right? So you kind of figure out their intentions. But with Fantastic Beasts, to me, I'm gonna bring it up because fucking why not? It's like the Pokemon factor. It's like bringing them into a real world and imagining how life would be with these fantastic beasts. And so like the parts with the Niffler, the part with like the little plant twig thing in his pocket, like those are the things. That's like
Pick it.
yeah, you can't really guesstimate what their intentions are going to be, so it makes it fun. and it makes it like enjoyable that like this adult is having fun with Pickett too.
Yeah.
Or the moment where I mean anything. I mean that Zouwoo was such a unique design. I really enjoyed it, and I loved the moment where Jacob's like, "Hey, Tina's up here, and she's alone," but he's focusing on making sure he doesn't get eaten by this thing, so he can remove the chain from it and befriend it. And he's not listening at all to what Jacob is saying up above. He's like playing dead and reaching under and removing it. And there's the look on the thing's face when he finally removes the chain and they have this understanding. And it's another one of those moments where you notice Newt is very comfortable doing the risking his life and almost being eaten. He'd rather do that than talk to Tina.
Yeah.
And so
well, he's not comfortable talking to
It's
Tina.
very true.
that's my
It's
point.
very
Yeah,
true.
like it's a really great way to show what he is comfortable with.
Yeah. Oh, favorite part for me, the cemetery like dragons.
Oh, the fire dragons.
Oh,
yeah.
Blue fire dragons.
Yeah.
An old ass Nicholas Flamel fighting. I haven't seen action for so long.
I love giant, creepy, terrifying monsters in movies, and especially when you're not expecting them. And I was expecting like the Zouwoo, and I said that terribly wrong, I'm sure. But I was
Don't apologize to
expecting.
me. I don't have any affiliation with them.
I just looked in a direction. I'm sorry, Tom.
Tom, I apologize for how we're butchering this word.
Yeah, we don't need to
Don't
disrespect
apologize.
the language.
Apologize to the internet.
I knew there were going to be
Zouwoo?
like some big creatures in it. But then when the dragon showed up, there was the second in my mind where I was like, oh, Newt's going to become its friend. And then I was like, oh, no, that's a magic dragon. Like, that's not
a
a creature
fire.
he can be
That's just a
friends with.
fire.
That's just like
Conjuring.
angry fire. And that, I'm just very excited to see how the fights are going to go from here. Because if that was just like a taste and he's not even like whipping it out full stock yet.
Grindelwald wasn't even there.
I know. Like,
He was like,
okay.
peace.
Yeah, I'm going to be calm right now because, boy, I'm excited.
Wow.
Wow. So proud of you. She liked the movie.
I like the movie.
So, what character did you like?
Favorite character.
Favorite character?
Dude, for me, it's Newt all day.
Okay.
Like, I, as a animal lover myself and someone who deals with a fair amount of social anxiety, I relate to that character in the sense of like, and you can ask my wife this, anytime there's a difficult animal at a party or a gathering, I will not be hanging out with people in social settings. I will be befriending the animal who hates
yes.
everyone else.
Mhm.
Yeah. So to me, it's I see a little piece of me, which is like they say it's a piece of me in that, and I relate to that at a very fundamental level.
Corey has become Hufflepuff. I'm kidding. And I don't say it in a bad way. I'm just saying like
No.
I feel like you have a connection with this character a little bit more than probably any of the other characters in the other, franchise.
In the rest of the yeah, absolutely. I mean, the only other one that I really connected with was Lupin, and he turns into an animal. So
And
Yeah.
plus now
Yeah, there you
you're an
go.
Oh,
adult.
looky there.
You're an adult. Scamander's an adult. He's skinny. You're skinny. You're blah.
Yeah.
it works out.
Yeah.
It's the
But
same
yeah, so
thing.
so
yeah.
Newt all day, and then my favorite side character in this one is either the Zouwoo or the or Pickett always.
No,
I love Pickett.
Yeah.
Especially, and I think I'm carrying baggage from the first one because he wasn't in this one too much. But I'm excited to see where that goes more. And then shout out to Nicholas Flamel because that's
I
amazing.
knew it.
We knew it.
I
Tom
literally
was
looked at Kayla, I was
mouthing
like,
at me.
old white man.
Well, no, it's less about that because I didn't think he wasn't chill and he didn't have a beard.
That's fine. Don't worry about it.
okay.
It's just that I've heard since I started reading these books about Nicholas Flamel, Sorcerer's Stone, Nicholas Flamel. So to see him in person for me was like a nice, but no beard, not chill.
Nice.
Doesn't qualify for my favorite.
All right.
Okay.
Josh, your favorite characters, and we'll do a favorite beast too.
Oh, favorite beast.
Does Nagini count?
No.
She's a
not
person.
yet.
She's a person.
No, not yet. Actually, my favorite character is one that I did not expect to walk out liking. Here's the thing. I love him as an actor.
It's a bad guy. I know it.
No, Jude Law.
Oh,
I-
Dumbledore.
Dumbledore. I love Jude Law.
100%. 100%.
When it was announced that he would be Dumbledore, I'll be perfectly honest, super excited.
Yeah.
Because I love Jude Law.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you weren't excited.
No. But I did kind of get on the cautiously optimistic train of just kind of like, okay, all right,
Yeah.
let's see how this goes. And then watching it, I walked away going, okay, I'm okay with this, because at first I was like, wait, he really is Dumbledore.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a man crush on Jude Law. He's
I
a
think
beautiful
we
man.
all do.
He's a beautiful man. But then I worked out the math and I was like, oh wait, Jude Law is 46. Dumbledore at this time is 46. It makes sense.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh,
At this time, he was born in 1881. So
Okay.
he's 46 at this time. And
Oh.
I'm like, okay. Here's the thing. People look better going into older ages.
Well-
like, I mean, this day
There
and
was
age.
an interview. There was an interview with Jude Law where he's like, "I love that I'm being called Young Dumbledore and I'm 45." That's amazing.
That's the best thing you could go for.
And
That's awesome.
To Josh, I want to just add on to that. Like for me, when I heard about Jude Law, I was just like, I think Jude Law is at the point of his career,
yeah.
and I don't mean like it's easy, but I don't think he fucks up roles anymore.
No.
No.
And I don't know if he ever did.
I don't know if he ever did.
And that's
Yeah,
my
I was
thing.
gonna
It's
say.
kind of like I don't think I've ever watched a movie where he did something bad. The movie could have been bad or it could be written bad.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like he kills it in whatever he does.
Yeah.
And so,
So,
that's why I
yeah.
was like,
He
oh.
has a sweetness
I was-
and an innocence of anything that I've seen of Jude Law. Just watching him, and then watching this, I was kind of like, yeah. I mean,
Does he play the Richard Harris?
So I
no.
read in an interview he did neither on purpose.
Oh.
Yeah.
The
I mean, here's
director
the thing.
asked him not to.
I will say though, I picked up on. I don't know if it's just maybe it's just the character, but I picked up on that little bit of the like the Irish accent on certain things that he would say from I forget his name, the second Dumbledore.
Michael Gambon, the worst
Yeah.
one.
Oh,
Well, yeah.
Jesus.
But either way,
Oh no,
Jesus.
Corey, no.
how about the second winner?
Okay.
The second Dumbledore.
But I picked up on his accent a little bit, and a little bit of the mannerisms, but I could just be like whatever.
Well, the cool thing that like kind of like I think we alluded to is that how this felt like Chamber of Secrets, during the Richard Harris times.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you still get that gentleness of him, but then also I'm kind of like, yo, Dumbledore's young, spry. I want to see this dude fuck some shit.
And look,
Oh, I'm ready.
I give Michael Gambon a hard time, and it's really just the one line that threw me off is when he yells that I'm not wearing hockey pads.
Jesus Christ.
I would hate him too.
Yeah, it felt a little out of place.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. And I was like, what are you doing? No, but when he, there was a few choices he made in an interview that Gambon did where he's like, I purposely didn't read the books, so I don't know about the character, that I was kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it gave me a bad taste, but that's my own personal preference. And I'm sorry, I called him the worst one because he is.
I was.
I was gonna say Josh's
you're not
favorite
sorry.
one.
You just like Gandalf apologized
my
by not
thing
apologizing.
is that I liked him, and so
Yeah,
it's
so
one
did
of
I.
those things that I don't see him as bad in it, and so it is one of those things that with the Dumbledore thing being forced into a new role in a way, new actor. The reason why I'm excited about Jude Law in a sense is that we all learn things. At least I hope we do.
Mhm.
We learn things as we get older, and so as though Dumbledore is smart as shit and knows some things, he still doesn't know what he knows when we know him.
Yeah.
That we know of him
I
later on
followed
in the
that.
Harry Potter world.
We
Yeah,
could
did
still
you get
see
that?
him
That was
learn
well
some
done,
lessons.
dude.
Yeah.
Well, can I add to that?
Sure.
Or- I kind
Maybe.
of well go ahead because I want to get to my favorite character, but it kind of connects with what I
Okay.
wanted you to talk about.
Well, my second side character, I think Corey said this.
It's a beast.
No.
Oh.
Anytime Queenie is on camera,
Yeah.
that's why it hurts my heart, but I don't hold it against her of what she did, because
she
I think
chose.
she just loves Jacob. She
Yeah.
loves him, and the only reason
100%,
why
yeah.
she is with Grindelwald is because she does see she is blinded in a sense. She doesn't see the evil side of what Grindelwald is trying to do. She only sees we could be equal, we could be open, I can be with Jacob.
Yeah.
So she's innocent in this sense, but ever since she was on screen on Fantastic Beasts, I fell in love for real, and I fell in love with her character where I was just like, do more.
Yeah.
Please just be on screen more.
It's my wife's favorite character too.
And just her innocence, and she has these abilities to read minds, and she just doesn't realize that she's doing it. She's just innocent, and I love watching her do her thing. Beast probably would be the Zouwoo.
I don't know.
Zouwoo.
I call it.
I
Big,
just-
I call
I-
it Big Cat.
Zouwuu.
Yeah, I'd say Zouwoo. a cool looking creature, and it is a misunderstood creature as always. It's just a crazy, ravenous looking beast, but then it just has a sweet side.
Josh, not to derail what you were saying here, but you said as always, and I almost said nerd on.
I know, my brain actually went nerd on. Anyway, Tom?
Favorite character, Grindelwald.
Okay.
Because
I'm not even shocked.
This is like
Grindelwald.
this is how I felt like Warner Brothers were to do an X-Men movie, because like he was selling the right shit. I was like, this guy is. I'm like Grindelwald over Voldemort every day. Because what I feel like Grindelwald was, he is the beginning of Hitler. Like this is the seductive, charismatic leader. Voldemort is the after the Blitzkriegs are happening.
Okay.
Like this is the wrath of Hitler.
Yeah.
And so like you don't get to fall in love with Voldemort because he's like, he's evil. But then this is like, I don't know if I should not be rooting for, because like he's like,
it's like those beams that were like Thanos is the bad guy, and it's is he?
Yeah, because I mean, like you get him. He's like, Creedance must come to us on his own accord. He goes to Queen. He's like, you are innocent. You will not. I will not hurt you. You're just lost. And I'm like, dude, this guy's doing all the right shit. There's something about me when like a character is very capable. I really, really like that in like a character who doesn't fuck up.
And he even let like a witch kill the baby so that he didn't do it.
I mean, there's
Well, that's part of like I agree with that. That I think he was really well done. But that's why I think like when he did evil things, it felt a little like counterproductive to
his
character, his cause or whatever. Him just like coming in and killing the non-Madge or whatever.
The family.
But yeah, so that's where like he probably wouldn't. Maybe that's the thing. Like he wouldn't do that in the middle of a crowd.
Oh well, he's not a good guy.
No, I know.
And so for me,
he's trying to win people over.
Oh well, I mean, I think he's. I mean, what part do he kill people in public?
Well, when they arrive and he takes over that house as his lair.
It was in secret.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it was covert. But I mean, like, he had to do it because he had to make a base of operations. But like, the thing is, like, he's evil, and so I think he's the same amount of evil as Voldemort, right? Like, if there's a base number of 100.
Well, he's also for the greater good. It's the ends justify the means. And so if these humans these nomads have to die for our cause, they have to die for our cause.
But the thing that I love about him is that compared to Voldemort's like, we are the stronger race. We are the wizards. We have the power. Like, Magneto says like we're homo superior, right? We should be the ones taking over. But like Grindelwald's argument when he talks to everybody, like I don't think it's what he's really selling, but it's the way he's talking about it that sells.
Yeah,
it's because he's saying like they are not lesser, they are of different quality.
I think Ollie's qualm, we shall say, with
gripe?
the issue of him killing the.
But he does hint that they are lesser. When he's talking about the gifted or given magic.
It's not that necessarily. It's more that like there wasn't a lead in to be like, oh, these people are corrupt to the other wizards that are with him. Like they don't kind of soften that. He just kind of goes and does it, which isn't uncharacteristic, but I think that's more of what you're talking about, right? There was no like lead in to be like, oh, these people are actually very corrupt, so we need to kill them anyway, and we need a base of operations. So I guess this works out. So I think that's more of what Ollie was talking about.
I know there's no question he's evil, but I feel like I should, as an audience member, I should also be trying to, like, the writer should try to be convincing me as well, not just like.
I was a little convinced.
I
think I'm not, simply because of what Dumbledore says of him in the books about like forcing muggles into subservience.
Right.
And the wizards are the triumphant ones. So I know that he does think they are basically shit on your heel.
Yeah. No, he does.
But that could have been
But
like
his campaign slogan says
it could have been like revealed, over time or something.
Well, here's the thing that I think about that is that he's still at the beginning of his
crimes,
building his followers.
I mean, his
so to get the innocent ones, say
first
like
scene.
Queenie.
Yeah.
He's got to play a different role.
Yeah.
He's got to pretend. And then once
It's
it
not
gets
really a
real,
qualm,
it's like, fuck it. I hate them.
It's like how
they're
every
little tiny creatures.
Yeah, it's like
they don't
how
have magic.
Every terrible leader gets into power. You fucking just appeal to the fucking denominators that you have to do. And the thing that I liked about him is like, if you saw him walk into the street, which he did, he doesn't just go off and start killing people. Voldemort, I feel like, would walk into a street, just start blasting things away because he knows no one could take him. Another thing, he fucking has the wand that Voldemort really couldn't even get. That was
Oh,
like
the Elder Wand?
And, like,
Yeah.
he starts out there, I was
Elder's
like,
wand.
what a fucking gangster. This is already starting out with God mode level, right? And I was just, I don't
That
know.
was kind of his thing.
Yeah.
To tag on one last little thing to Ollie's point of him killing off the nomad, whatever. There was that one guy that was like kind of questioning him the whole time,
Oh, yeah. And he died.
and then he died. So I think that was kind of like the, you
have
know,
to.
anything that is questionable. Oh yeah, there will be people who question a little bit, but they get killed off.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that kind of like wraps that
And-
at least a little bit anyway.
The cool thing that I kind of saw with that fire thing and how he died, people were able to pass through, and then
Right.
that guy died. You know, you could explain it like what the logic of behind that fire really is. Like, oh, he could just choose who dies, who doesn't. But like visually and through symbol, it's like those who are willing to embrace it and those who aren't willing to embrace the cause.
You're either for it and not afraid of it, or you're willing to step in.
But then if your conviction is shaken
I
like
said the
that
same thing
guy,
twice.
if that guy's conviction is shaken like
I
him,
followed.
he dies. You know, like Queenie's
Yeah.
conviction wasn't. And so she's able to pass. It's like it is trial by fire. It is baptism under fire.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's like those true believers pass through the fire. Those who do not burn. And it's like, holy shit. You know what I mean? Like, and that's
Yeah.
what shows what happened
Well,
with
he's-
fucking Homeboy.
He's literally
Bye.
considered the second greatest dark wizard of all time behind Voldemort.
Voldybutt.
Yeah. He's insane.
I guess the thing that
Power wise, I mean, not like crazy.
yeah.
So that would bring me to my side character, and I would think it would have to be, it's not that he's my favorite, but I just want to see more Creedance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I wanted,
Yeah.
it's like, how the fuck did you live? But also, what the fuck are you? And also, your chin's really chiseled and you look kind of good, but
Well,
also,
not Creedance.
Aurelius. Yeah, Creedance died.
And
and
also, you don't look like Jude Law at all.
then- well, I mean, there's a whole.
I think he's technically like a half brother or something like that.
There's a whole debacle about it because apparently I was talking to my roommate and he was saying like Dumbledore like saw his mom die, and so like how the fuck did a brother get born by that time? Unless she was like time turner,
Like,
the fuck.
yeah.
The
And
baby
just,
was
like,
actually Albus. Albus is
No, it could
Azaleus?
be-
from
it could
another
be his-
time frame, timeline.
It doesn't have to be from his mother. It could be from his dad. Just because he's an Azkaban
Half-brother.
Yeah.
doesn't
be-
mean that it couldn't have happened with another woman. And
Different mom that also died.
we never really hear. It's like show me the body. It's like we know that
Yeah.
his dad died, and they have said
Mhm.
he went to Azkaban because he killed some peeps, standing up for Dumbledore's little sister. But we don't really know.
What if he's
I'm
a
sure
snake?
it'll all come to fruition in the
Yeah,
next
we'll learn.
film.
We've
Yeah.
got time. We've
Your
got
favorite
time.
beast?
Next time.
And then my favorite beast is Niffler.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
To me,
The
they
baby Nifflers.
all of them they were a little little plot pointy of like get the fucking gold thing, get the fucking blood pack thing, but they're like it's really useful. It was
Yeah.
a really useful thing, and like
Yeah.
the cool thing,
Oh, when he's finding the gold footprints, I love
find
that.
the gold footprints, but also takes the blood pack fucking pin.
Yeah.
And also, like, the cool thing I compare it to a little bit of Star Wars
Mhm.
compared to Porgs and BB-8.
Yeah.
Mm.
The Nifflers aren't made so much a focal point of a character, but very much like as a part of the world. And so as
Yeah.
an extension of Newt. And so it doesn't feel like, oh,
Yeah.
God, stop selling me toys.
Yeah.
Like, God, stop
Yeah.
making this
Yeah.
to sell me a toy.
They had Newt has a line to Dumbledore when he's talking about the Nifflers where he's like, Grindelwald doesn't understand things he considers simpler than himself
Mm-hmm.
or simple. And I loved that because it's a metaphor for his whole soapbox.
Yeah. It was pretty perfect.
Yeah.
But that wraps me up. Ollie Smoxon free.
Smoxon free. I like that. I don't know why I like it, but my favorite character is
Ollie, chocolate me.
There we go.
Oh.
See,
I'm chocolatey right now.
Dear.
Corey gets it. It is going to be Albus Dumbledore
Yumbledore.
Yeah.
in the young
Dumbledore.
flesh.
Dumble. Damn.
That glove trick was pretty dope.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I'm actually a huge fan of Jude Law. I really dug his performance. Like I said, right from the trailer, I was sold of him being Dumbledore. But I do wish there was a lot more of him, and I understand why there wasn't. But
Yeah.
I still wanted to see more of him. So hopefully,
I'm sure next movie it's
he'll
gonna
be
be.
a
Oh, yeah.
recurring character.
I mean, the battle between him and Grindelwald is considered the battle of battle of ages.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I'm so ready.
So I can't wait for that.
It'll be a crescendo.
Side character is Tina. Is she a side character? I guess
She's not the character.
think
No matter what, she's
she's
Bay
a
for
main,
days.
but yeah.
she's Bay for days. I'm a huge fan of that actress,
Oh.
and a huge fan of her character. Like I watched Steve Jobs again the other night, and I'm like, oh yeah, she's so good at things and being sad and cryy and
So good at things and
So good at
actually-
turning oxygen to carbon
I wasn't a
dioxide.
fan of Tina, but that's fine.
that's okay. That's okay. We can disagree, but I liked her. But again, I wanted for this one. I feel like there should have been a lot more Tina, and there wasn't. And I was actually kind of upset at that. Of
Everyone
how
at,
much
everyone at home, hear this clap between me and Ali.
and I
Because
get
we
I get that it's plot and all that stuff and the way plot's structured, but you can write it differently. You can have her be more important or something, to not have to hide her away as part of the plot or whatever. But that's
Tom's like jamming out to this.
Tom's jamming out to
headphones.
my rap right now.
You put in that qualm disc in.
I'm with Caitlin though.
Yeah. I'm not
But yeah, that's totally fine. I respect your opinion.
that's okay.
But
that's all right.
Favorite.
That
I
is-
respect yours, sir.
Yes.
And I'm bowing. You can't
Reciprocated.
see it, but I'm bowing.
I'm not, but I agree.
But yeah, I want more Tina, so hopefully I'm sure we'll get plenty of that. Favorite beast has to be the big cat dude. Not even gonna try to pronounce it.
Zouwoo.
Zouwoo.
Mhm.
We're probably all saying it
Probably
wrong.
are.
Like the whole
Probably
time.
Zhao
I think it's like Zhao Wu,
because-
probably, yeah.
But that's usually
But-
ZH,
It's,
so I don't know.
it's Arcanine.
Yeah.
Pokemon.
Arcanine.
My favorite was Arcanine.
All right. Favorite character.
We did that. Oh, it's you.
I didn't though.
Yeah, we already did it. Moving
I
on.
thought you were announcing it to the room.
Wow. No, actually, I think my favorite character is Grindelwald. I'm
Nice usage of the V.
just intrigued by him and how cunning he is. It's kind of like the
He's a
Moriarty.
cunning
in-
linguist.
Oh, damn it. It's kind of like the Moriarty. Like,
Oh, yeah.
he's always like the one step ahead, and Dumbledore's like his Sherlock.
Mm-hmm.
So I really.
Because he plays
Yeah.
Watson
No.
and Sherlock.
yeah, no, yeah.
I was there.
But yeah,
I saw that movie too.
Newt's more
So-
like Sherlock
100%.
because of the sociopathness.
True. Sort of.
Dumbledore's also Moriarty.
Dumbledore's also Moriarty. Everyone's fucked. No, I just like the dynamic of both of the characters. So I guess it's like Grindelwald and Dumbledore kind of combined.
Young Dumbledore.
You want to see that young romance, don't you?
I do. I do. I really.
We need a prequel to the
We will,
prequels.
we'll get it.
I know it's.
I mean,
I
that's
know
going to be a
it's.
heated emotional battle.
Oh, I know it's.
The movie's
coming.
called Between Two Wands.
Oh my.
It's just called Fantastic Beats Touching Tips.
Coming to you
There it
on
is.
Thursdays from the CW.
In theaters
I'm
today.
so ready.
The
I'm gonna like
romantic
it.
novella.
It's gonna be great.
Show me your wand.
Oh no!
The wand chooses the
When
wizard.
they're doing the blood pact, it's gonna be great.
What is happening?
A great
Would you
thing,
stupefy
Tom.
me?
Oh,
I'd stupefy me.
oh, this has gone great places, and I love it.
Jesus.
Oh boy.
Reddit will never be the same.
So yeah, does that count as my favorite main and side?
Sure.
Yes.
Let's go with that.
And
Yeah,
your
what's your
beast,
beast?
My favorite beast.
flame dragon.
A flame dragon doesn't count because it's
not
not.
a beast.
It's not an actual beast.
It's just an amazing beast. It's not
Do you
fantastic.
like the Zouwoo as well?
I
Pickett?
like it. I think Pickett's my favorite. Just
'Cause he's
also
kinda sassy.
because Pickett's very sassy, and also when it like climbs through the bookcase to be like, "Oh hey Lita," and then like slowly climbs back, and
Oh,
she's
yeah.
like, "You're fucking kidding me."
Yeah. The first film, I'm going to bring up the first film when he's pissed that he traded him. He's like, I wouldn't have traded you. You know that. And he's like, meh.
It's Warner Brothers Group.
It's so
I loved
cute.
it.
I love it.
I do. I forgot. I do want to give a shout out to Young Lita.
Yeah.
Oh
Zoe
yeah.
Kravitz.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I
Oh,
thought that
Young
was really
Lita.
cool. Yeah, Young Lita.
Yeah. In Hogwarts.
That was all of it was great.
And good on that kid for doing a spot on Eddie Redmayne's Newt
Yeah.
That was
Newt
so
Scamander.
surprising. I thought it
For
was
a
him.
second, I thought they de-aged him. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
did they just put it? But it's that kid just nailed it.
that hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
That
awesome.
hard. Okay. Well,
Tom?
We'll
All
put
right,
that
take us
track
away.
in. Everyone, put on the disco.
DJ
ball.
Qualms,
DJ
Dr.
Qualms in
Gripes.
house.
Turn down the lights.
Also, your doctor called. He's in for your gripes, Mr. Ali.
Dr. Krebs is in the house.
But this is the qualms office. So, my first qualm, it's more of like a I want more. I just
Okay.
wanted more Newt and Tina
Okay.
Yeah.
because like I really started liking his motivations and like a little bit of where they left him off of like how he's like, oh no, I don't want you to be happy, but I want you to be happy, but I'm not happy, and like that stuff, the salamander eyes, the Dan Fogler like coaching him through that, like
I'm sorry. I just forgot that my favorite side character was Jacob.
no, you have Dumbledore done.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Well,
Well, it's still there.
So yeah, like that whole coaching thing, I really like that very human aspect of it, of like it's the story of like a guy and a girl, but then also like a friend tries to help him talk through it, but he's having like marital issues as well.
Yeah.
And like I really, that's something that we can't get a lot out of from Harry Potter because it's about a student fitting in school. But this is kind of like, this is about an adult trying to find his place in the world.
And it has adult problems with the adult cast.
And I wanted that so much, and so that's why the part with the salamander eyes is my favorite part. And I'm just like, why is this 10% of the movie and not like 20% of the movie? Like, and I get it because like I love.
Well, Lita is the focus in this.
She's
the,
like
the thing between
the
Newt
ferns.
and Lita.
And that's where I'll save mine, but go on.
And the thing I liked about the Lita thing is like she kind of becomes inciting action, but also like her core and the whole Corvus and Karma and Creedance all became like every Wolverine movie except Logan of, but what about my past? And
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, like, and the thing is like I feel like it's kind of in the writing, and I think there's nothing wrong with the story, but I think since J.K. Rowling wrote it, and maybe this is like my baggage of like I see her as like a novelist sometimes. It's like she writes these films in such a way where like the payoff is at the end, and it's like, look at this Mad Eye Moody, he's actually in the bottom of this trunk, and actually the guy who you thought Mad Eye Moody is not actually Mad Eye Moody, and this guy's actually a werewolf. It's like, whoa, fuck.
I think she's better novelist from what we've seen, and I think it's been a bit of a challenge for her to write a 2-hour movie as opposed to however long she wants her novel to be.
Yeah, I just felt like certain scenes could have been in certain places and they would have felt a little better instead of like, here's all this mystery, here's like some of this plot that you bought the ticket for, but here's this other stuff that's going to explain the plot you're waiting for, but here's all the rest of the explanation at the end. And I'm like, oh, I really hope they don't do the explanation as a flashback, and the entire explanation's a flashback. And if they had like sprinkled that in throughout, then it would have been kind of more of like, what the fuck is going on? Because you can be very creative with those flashbacks,
Right,
and infer different intentions on your characters by doing that. It complicates them.
like I liked everything that I learned there, but I didn't like that I got all the information inside of the crypt or whatever.
One sequence.
That was my problem with it mostly, just to kind of piggyback off yours a little bit, is I think that exposed rather, like that I think there was just too much going on.
Yeah.
Like for the runtime of the movie.
I think
and I want to know all that stuff. So my vote for in this case is for it to be a longer movie.
Yeah.
To show
Or
all
6
those
films
things.
instead of 5.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like
Let that stuff breathe a little
yeah,
bit.
we can all talk about it. I think a lot of like I've heard qualms of the film is that like they try to throw in so much, and I
Yeah.
feel like with Fantastic Beasts, it kind of like this is like the welcome mat of this world that we're going to give you, and this film was very much like, now this is the actual world.
Yeah.
Like this is
What's going on.
This is the set of events that you're now in. It's like this is the party,
Yeah.
but also the actual party's in this third room in the West Wing, and you're like,
I'm hoping that this got, because now we have everyone where they need to be as far as places for the battle. So I'm hoping the
That's
next
what I'll
3
say.
films are fleshed out. And this was just kind of like the, hey, by the way, here's the rest of the exposition.
Because that was the thing the issue that I had mainly was that, we learned all this stuff about Creedance and all that stuff, but I was like, well, so what right now? Like, go deal with him.
I didn't
go
feel
deal
it
with
for the
Grindelwald.
first film, which was kind of cool. And they could have maybe put more of it in there.
Yeah, that would have been more appropriate, I think, because I think Creedance had a more central role as like
Yeah.
the
But he
orphan
bugged
or
me
whatever.
more in the first one.
Maybe he wouldn't have if they
That's
gave
a
it a
good
bit
point.
more of the little bit more of the backstory nuggets. But in this one, I feel like it wasn't. I didn't feel like it wasn't cohesive. There wasn't like a nice clean through line to show me like, okay, I learned all this stuff, and now this why it matters for this last scene. But to your point, Corey, like it set up everything perfectly at the end of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right,
So,
where it ended is where you wanted it.
You're right.
And like I said,
It got there.
I'll go back to my original initial reactions. Like, I'm really excited for the next one.
Right.
Now I'm like, oh, I'm fucking ready.
I'm ready.
Like 7 seatbelts are on my body right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
And
ready.
It's interesting you said that because my qualm is the same kind of thing, but in the beginning with Jacob. Like within 10 seconds, he's like, "Oh, by the way, I remember everything," and like you said, it doesn't erase all the
He
things. and by
essentially
the way,
says
now
it
I'm
didn't
back."
work.
Yeah.
It's such a it really
thrown
pulls the
away.
rug out from under what happened last time. And like I have no problem with his memories coming back. Like don't get me wrong, but maybe I would have liked to maybe see it or
Maybe he would have had to do that to get some other piece of key information to undo the obliviate or something like or whatever. it
yeah,
was.
and like you get the hint at the end of the film that he still has memories because he's making all of his pastries into the beasts.
yeah.
But to just have him barge through the door and be like, "Newt, I'm back. Everything's
It wore
fine. I
off.
remember it."
I actually
I felt like so,
completely
like,
forgot
aw.
he was even a baker
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they don't even bring it up once.
They don't.
The whole film.
Yeah,
like,
what's going on with his
Yeah.
shop?
Like it's well, no, I mean someone.
Apparently, it's
I
very
was-
successful. He probably has someone running it. But
Oh, of course.
It's called Panera.
But like the little things that made these characters so lovable were just kind of like, okay, we're done with that now. Like it just moved on really quickly. It felt like it was
Yeah.
a
Well,
cart going
a
down the
couple-
side of a mountain with
that
just
combined
bumps
with
trying
a few
to find
other,
the road.
Yeah, a few other points in addition to that made it feel like there was a few things that were like circumvented or like
Plotty.
probably even cut.
what's when you go back and fix things? I forget the
Retcon.
word. You retconned
Retroactive
for the
continuity.
purposes to fit into the plot a little bit. So I got a little
Well,
bit of that as well.
My guess is maybe they didn't know how. That doesn't make sense though. I was gonna say they didn't know how popular Jacob was gonna be, but they had to have known.
They had to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, because
I-
they filmed almost immediately after.
my kind of goes along with that opening sequence. Like the thing I kind of found interesting was that like Queenie a little bit kind of like, why did you put an enchantment on him so you can get married? But he was always in love with you. That solved all the issues.
Because he
And
was
then
in love, but he wouldn't
You
marry
wouldn't
her.
get married, and she wanted to get married, and so that made it kind of weird for me that her main intent was like, why won't he marry me? Why is the world against me?
Well, and she wants to have kids too. Like she wants to start a life. In the 30s, is very like being with someone not married and with kids was a huge deal.
Yeah, even if you're a wizard or whatever, it's like I can see her point of view where it's like she wants to get married.
No,
And
She has
it's
no
like
worth
there's-
otherwise.
And I
in
think
her eyes.
I think it built very well to why she went to Grindelwald. But
Yeah.
like that part didn't really connect with me until Jacob and Newt are waiting for comment and then see the couple.
Yeah,
Then I'm like, oh, okay, because everyone's fucking coupled.
yeah,
And I'm like, I kind of get that. And I get the whole like time frame of like people can't be who they are or who they want to be with.
Mm.
But like
Yeah.
it just felt very like your happy ending already happened.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get that. I totally understood why she did the enchantment and stuff, but it should have been explained a little more.
Yeah,
I think that's the kind of the qualm across the board is that a little more explanation would have helped.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they could have shown more, like show don't tell, like more. I wanted more to see things unfold
yeah,
through
right.
sequences, and that kind of leads me not to hijack
Go take
your
it.
thing.
It's an organic thing.
But one of my qualms
God
was,
damn it.
well, a couple. I think they go hand in hand. One, I didn't hear enough spell casting, and maybe you guys, because it's been a while since I've read the book, so I don't know, like, why can they, like, I don't think there was a single spell spoken.
well, because
There was a few. When they drunkify the guard in front, they say it, and
when he puts the paper back together,
When
he does something
yeah.
papyrus.
unenchants Jacob.
Yeah,
Reparo
Well,
papyrus.
But Josh, explain it because I think I know what you're talking about.
what I was gonna say is that it's not required.
it's not
You
required.
can learn how to cast magic without using
Okay.
your words. You can just do it with
Thought.
with thought in a sense, but it's
Yeah.
will.
Yeah,
Like you were casting this out of like you're strong.
a good
enough.
example
It
is
tells
the
it-
McGonagall Snape fight.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say typically wizards who don't have to are a little bit more skilled.
Mhm.
Um,
Exactly.
And that was like the big. I remember that being a very important thing in the first Fantastic Beasts because Percival or
Mhm.
well, I think the skill thing is without a wand.
oh
Like you could cast without a wand if you're like high enough. or
But
whatever,
still, like
right? Am I right?
the quote unquote thing of
That's
like
Voldemort.
you need to do.
That's-
I don't believe
No,
so.
No, you have
he
to have
doesn't
a
even do
wand.
that.
Yeah, I have a wand. Okay.
Yeah.
They're not those kind of wizards.
But it is.
Tickle fingers.
I mean, they talk a little bit about it in Harry Potter. Like it's very, very lightly just kind of glossed over. But
Okay.
it is possible to cast magic without using
Yeah.
words.
But that's like the sub qualm. But the actual qualm is like wanting to or not. I wanted more like wizard battles, I guess.
Duels.
Like there was the fire
Yeah.
versus fire, but I would have liked to see like more
Like in the first one.
duels. Yeah.
Well, I think they're.
I think that ties right back into the qualm of this is just a stepping stone film.
Yeah. Like the fights are coming because right now they don't really have as much need to
The
fight.
coolest fight moment was when Tina tied up his brother, and he was like, "I think that was the best moment of my life."
But not to compare it to the second best movie of all time, Two Towers. That one ends with like this epic battle sequence, and
Yeah.
it's a middle movie, but it was handled with that in mind and knowing that it's a middle movie, so it had to kind of be its own movie
Well,
in the middle.
Well, this ends with
But
the
that's
fire.
also
Not to-
3 movies.
Not to hijack what you're about to say, but yeah, I was gonna say there's a difference between a middle movie and a stepping stone film.
Right.
So a stepping stone film is basically just here's all the shit you're gonna need for the rest of this ride, and I'm sorry we made it into a whole film.
Yeah.
I think that was at the end of the credits.
Yeah,
Sorry, this was a
good
movie.
apology there.
I did miss Colin Farrell in there.
Oh,
Because I really
Yeah.
liked him there, and obviously you find out that it's Grindelwald and all that stuff. But I was like,
yeah.
I was like, but what happened to him? Because the rest of the fucking ministry,
What was
dead
up
as
with
shit.
that, by the way?
Huh?
Why did they
He's
do
dead
that?
as shit.
and that's why I'm like, I don't want him to be dead, but also he probably dead. Like he's probably
No,
went out to
100%
go
dead.
get Grindelwald, and then all of a sudden got killed, and Grindelwald was like,
No,
I'm gonna
he's
take care of
he,
that.
he dead.
No, he's probably dead.
He been
dead.
dead. He is of the dead.
He done been dead.
Yeah, he done he
So
done
I'm
been
Bum
dead.
been dead.
But no,
been
did
dead.
anyone else miss him? I missed him.
I mean, I
No.
love.
Hey, he's starring in Dumbo. You can go.
I
watch him
already
there.
forgot what he even did.
He's one of the
He's
main
the
characters.
first film.
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
the American like
Auror.
chief Auror, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like
Yeah.
the bounty hunter guy.
He's the chief of police essentially for
Yeah.
magic
Oh,
people.
gangster as fuck.
Yeah.
He's who Grindelwald was pretending to be.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Which I really liked.
I have qualms.
Yes, Josh. Qualms.
What are they?
I will add to the Jacob thing. It was actually like the first thing that I went, really? No.
And like
The
I had no
whole-
problem with him coming back.
No. Because here's the thing.
But how they
Jacob
did
was
it.
my favorite. Yeah, exactly. It was. I love Jacob. I loved
It was-
him hard.
It was the opposite Superman kiss.
It really was the. That's how you're gonna. That no. Please
Wouldn't
don't.
you like to see it click?
Yeah. It was like, oh, like I just would have loved to have seen the reveal or the explanation or something, not just, oh, it didn't work.
What if he's like all like weirded out like he is in the first film, and then something happens and he saves Newt and Queenie, and they're like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm back," or something. Like, not that, but like basically tells him like, "I remember everything. Let's do this."
What if it's just like Queenie comes to Newt being like, I enchanted him, I fucked up, da 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 da, and then Newt's the only one that knows how to undo it, and so he undoes it, but in doing
also
so
undoes
gets
his own
all the
thing.
magic. Or gets all the memories back.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Gets all the
that's
magic.
good.
He makes
That
him into
would've-
the strongest wizard of all time.
and he becomes Voldemort.
Jacob the Baker.
He becomes Voldemort.
And I love an origin story. No.
Salazar Slytherin!
Oh man, Jacob the Baker. It has a ring to it.
Oh boy.
Jacob the Butcher.
Yeah.
One other small qualm that I had, and I noticed it a couple times where I was like, oh, this would have been perfect right here, was the music. Like, one thing I loved about Harry Potter is the amazing music. And
It's not the pan up of a castle?
not
But that castle reveal though.
yeah, that was done well. Like, that was done fine. We hear the old school, whatever. But there's a couple things I was like, you could accentuate this. Like, come on, it's 2018. Like, let down your hair,
It's the same
Newton Howard. Like, let whoever does this.
it's the same score
Yeah,
guy or composer.
composer.
The only thing I did like, I will say with the music is how they hid the theme in there a few times.
yeah, but it's
Yeah.
like,
Like
don't
I
hide
think
it.
when they're discovering, and this one isn't as hidden, but when he tells Niffler to find the scent, the theme comes in there, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
I think
But
there was
I
one.
agree with you.
I think it was a kind of an establishing shot, like a crane shot showing them, like Newt had Portkey'd over or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that would have been like a great. It was something that I was like, this would have been perfect for like
Had
an
the
amazing,
Diagon
like a
Alley
huge
theme.
swell.
Yeah.
Something. I don't know.
The beginning sequence, I was a little bit it was just so much going on. I fucking loved it, but there were a couple of times where it was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have a stroke or something. Like it was just like flashy, and things flashing across the thing. And I was like, I think that was a broom guy. I don't.
Wow,
It's
you
the
just
same
explained
issue.
it like I explain most things. Oh no.
Broom guy.
Broom guy.
It reminded me a little bit of that issue I had with Ready Player One, where it's just that overload of CGI.
Oh.
Your brain can only take in so much
Yeah.
that you start only seeing pieces of it because your brain is trying to like remove the things that aren't real and focus on like, all right, what's the focus of this? But
Yeah.
it all is CGI, so there's no way to find the focus.
Like I would rather have like a static shot where it's obviously a CGI environment, but a static shot of like Grindelwald on top of the carriage and just fucking casting lightning. And I'd be like, oh, we know he's gangster as fuck. And that's
Yeah.
it. And then be done. Just
Filling up the
Yeah.
coach with water though was
yeah, that's
dope.
cool.
Oh, that was very
But like everything they add artificial shape.
Yeah.
Tom. He's just said that as if he's done it before. Yeah, it's all right. It's
Look, Voldemort can make
It's okay,
a fire
it's okay.
snake. This dude could fill up
The
a
old
fucking
carriage full of water trick.
But go on, Josh.
I am about to seem like Grandpa Josh here.
Uh-oh.
Those
And I
damn
feel-
kids.
I feel super weird about it.
Back in
Okay.
my day.
So, did I love having Nicholas Flamel in there? Yes,
Mhm.
I did. But there were a couple of moments that I felt like it was, hey, member?
Member bears.
Hey, member? Like when he opened it up, it's like, oh, fuck, that's a Sorcerer's Stone. But I was like,
where do you want him to keep it, Josh?
hey.
In his fucking underwear.
But it was just a
it
member
was in
moment.
his only vault he had
I
in his
get it.
house.
Oh, God,
In his
see,
underwear.
I don't, this is why
Keep
I
it
don't
up
like
his butt
In his remember all.
and remove the power from it that way.
Josh
then-
has become a T-Rex.
And then the escape from the ministry felt very Escape from the Ministry
In the other one.
in the other one. Deathly Hallows.
Deathly Hallows.
It just was very like that, though it was fucking sweet.
Mhm.
Here's the thing. My qualms, it's just like they're light. It's like, they're minor.
I
They're
think-
tiny. It would be the tiniest print. It would just be like,
I think to the way you're talking
Is
about
that
your
what Tiny
qualms,
Print reads?
yeah.
it's more like you just want to see something a little different.
Yeah. It
Like
was-
you could still see the Sorcerer's Stone or whatever the fuck. You can still see Nicholas Flamel. You can still see the Ministry. You can still see him escape, and it feels the same way, but done in a different way.
yeah, it was cool. I was like, holy shit, that's awesome. I mean, speaking of which, the French Ministry of Magic, I was like, oh, fuck. That is like, now that you're revealing it, I'm like, yeah, that is French as fuck.
Yeah.
Like the artwork, the
Everything
design
about
of it, I was like,
They're not willing to help you.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
Here's the thing: when I was in Paris, I
vous
totally
plaît.
got the totally different thing. Everybody was super helpful.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
That's what Dana said when she went. She's like, "You're so nice."
yeah, they're more so like it's the rude Americans, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know
obnoxious
what we're
ones.
talking about.
Sacre
Tom.
bleu.
It's a culture where that if you try to adapt to their culture rather than asking them to adapt to your culture in their own country,
Yeah,
they'll be very helpful.
yeah.
Just
So
give them
every
French fries
country-
and croissants.
Hey, what could I get
Exactly.
a frappuccino over here?
Okay,
Oh, boy.
so they're little tiny qualms, like I said.
Little
with
teeny
fine
bitty
print.
dick.
They're like little gold dusts in the
Yeah.
air. Of
Are
Is
they
it
really
my turn?
qualms? Not really, but it's just like,
Nitpicks.
It's something.
yeah,
I have
Why not?
more than nitpicks.
Oh,
Do
go
it.
ahead.
yeah.
Let me just start off by saying I'm a Johnny Depp fan. I when Pirates came out, like all 4 years of high school, I dressed up as a Johnny Depp character.
Fair.
I am pretty over his British accent
His
at
British,
this point.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a mix of it's a mix of Captain Jack Sparrow light, and I think we're at the point where like we could have picked a British actor to play Grindelwald.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that it's just it bothers me that we had an American playing our British villain and then an Irishman playing the American version of him. And it's just like it like we can do this, guys. We can hire a British guy to play. There's
We can
plenty
do this.
I don't know though.
like Tom Hiddleston would have been amazing. Like I'm just
Oh.
off the top of my head.
Dude, there aren't
are
really
plenty-
any British actors though. So like,
Guys, I don't know of any British actors who can play
Christian
villains.
Bale.
I actually thought that you were serious for a second, Caitlin, and I was like, I was just
They're
about to
known
walk
for
out.
playing
that's like
villains.
the argument for everything of like, oh, there's no non
who said Christian Bale?
anything.
Who do you think said
Who do you
fucking
think
Christian
said
Bale?
it? Who do you
I don't-
think?
Ollie or Tom? It was Tom.
It was Tom.
Yes, we could have like I get it because Johnny Depp, but like I wasn't happy with the casting. and that's a big qualm of mine. And I just hear his fake British accent.
Can I add to that for a second?
Yeah.
So I've been on a like, it's so funny because it's not Pirates Caribbean. It's been Gilbert Grape, Transcendence, and Black Mass.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think I like Johnny Depp a lot as an actor. And so I'm watching this like, give me more, give me more. So I was like exact opposite.
That's not my point. Is I do like it. That's
Oh,
my
yeah,
whole
no,
point.
no,
I do
yeah.
like him as an actor. But I just think in a
not necessary.
multi-million-dollar movie, we can hire a British person to play a British person.
Yeah, but there weren't any British actors.
Caitlin.
Left. They used them all in Harry Potter.
Yeah, they
and
were
some
already
of this.
used up.
Yeah. No.
So just right off the bat, that bugged me.
Sorry,
go ahead.
One thing
Please,
with that
please.
is his eye was too distracting for me.
The contact.
I love
Oh, I hate
I liked
that.
it. Just because it was hinted at in past stuff. So I get it.
It could have been toned down or something. I don't know.
I'm kind of
it. Josh, you like scars on all your characters.
I have no. I can't speak. Go on, Corey.
My other qualm is the lack of Queenie goes on and on about how she can't control reading minds, and yet she never reads Grindelwald's, and maybe it'll be explained, but it bugged me that there was no part of her that could sense his actual thoughts behind things because she can't control it anywhere throughout this franchise. And I'm hoping it gets explained, but as of right now, it's a qualm of mine.
Josh has a hand up.
Yes.
My thought about that, because I was thinking that as well. I was like, man, wouldn't she be reading the shit out of his mind? But he has got to be skilled at legitimacy. Where he closes off his mind.
Which
where
I'm
it's
fine
like
with.
Voldemort, like he
explain
can't.
that.
Yeah.
They'll
Well-
explain it. That's fine. But as of right now, since they haven't hinted at anything, it bugs me.
Yeah.
And the fact that she could never, she only read people's minds at convenient times. But then when Jacob was sincerely sorry, she never read his mind. Or when he was there, she never read his mind about all the things Grindelwald did that he knew about. I don't know.
So
It's a plot device and not like an actual character trait.
It was very convenient.
So she's turning into Jean Grey. That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
And then she's gonna become the Phoenix.
And I like the character. I like Queenie a lot. Like I really do.
Well, and to
but
Josh's point about the mind reading stuff, she was getting really overwhelmed when she couldn't find Jacob, and then Grindelwald's like assistant or whatever found Queenie,
Yeah.
and everything got really quiet. So I'm wondering if that's like that is just proving Josh's point that like they've got some extra magic going on.
Yeah, which is fine. But at this point, they didn't explain or hint at anything beyond that. So it's a qualm
True.
of mine.
Just by
That makes
viewing,
sense.
it just seems very
So like what I got from that touch is that she shook her out of it and she broke her hysteria because someone decided to talk to her.
it's just convenient.
Yeah, it's convenient. I mean, yeah, and that aside, all the other moments where she didn't read people's minds with their true intentions, it just got to me.
when
that
she
makes
screams,
sense.
"I'm crazy! I'm not crazy."
Yeah, well, I mean, he was gonna say it, so I don't blame her for that. But of course, he doesn't mean it. Like she's a wild card, and I like her character, and I like the direction it's going. I just think they could have taken a little more care with her power. I had a qualm as well as like Tina is not my favorite character, but I'm in the same realm that I would have liked to see more, and maybe I would have cared more
Same.
for her if they had put more of her in it.
Yeah.
But at this point,
She's like on pause, basically.
Yeah,
Her character's on pause for this
Tom
movie.
and Ollie are holding hands.
My main issue of the character is that she's not a strong character. She's very unsure of herself, and I
I'll give you
don't
that.
I don't believe that for what she's done and what she's doing. I think I would have liked to see her character a little more confident. And I get that she's trying to prove herself, but like the
She needed
drive
to
she has.
accomplish something in this movie, and she didn't.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, like, and I think I would have liked to see like if she has something to prove, especially in the first movie, like she wanted to get her job back and prove something, and she seemed very timid and accidentally proving herself. Where I would have liked to see a little more sure-headedness and like I'm going to prove myself to these people instead of just like I brought him in and I don't know like. I missed the confidence of the character, and I think that's what doesn't hit the mark for me. And maybe we'll see that grow a little more with her and Newt. But as of right now, that's my qualm with her character.
I actually shared the exact same thing, and you put it in way better words than I ever would have.
Josh from Gryffindor has a hand.
Yes.
Has one hand.
One hand. I have only one hand. So I guess my thing about that is that love is a strange thing, and I'm not.
Look what it did to Queenie.
But because here's the thing is that my argument now against myself would be maybe this isn't the place to do that. A movie. But I think that Tina loves Newt.
Oh, of course.
And
Oh,
she
no,
was
that's not what I'm arguing.
No. Just what I'm trying to say is that when somebody is heartbroken, they act completely different. And so, like in the first movie, Tina was like very confident, very like hoorah.
No, my problem is that I didn't get that.
No, I get that. In this movie, what I feel from this movie is she was heartbroken.
No, from either film, I didn't get that as a character.
Oh, okay.
I never got that she was sure of herself once, and so I never
okay.
believed in her because she didn't.
Cool.
And that's my issue with the character as a whole.
I got it from the first one.
Yeah, I got it from the first
because like
one.
Newt was supposed to be like the shy one, and then she's supposed to be like the American like.
But when you have
this
that
thing.
relation, when you have Newt as your
Yeah.
relation, who's the confident one? Okay, so she's not as
It's
confident.
a skewed scale.
Yeah, it's a very
But even
skewed.
even in the first one, when she presents anything to anyone, she's stuttering, she's nervous, I just never got confidence in herself, which maybe that's part of it. Maybe she'll discover that.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I think they were trying to write her as a very strong-footed, like Hermione type character. Like, look at Hermione.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I think of in the Wizarding world as a confident, strong character who has her doubts in herself, but still, in the face of everything, will commit to what she's saying, is sure-footed. And I've never gotten that from Tina. And I'm
That's a
hoping
really
we do.
good parallel or that you drew there. But the way I interpret it was like Hogwarts, everyone's on equal playing field, like regardless of what characters actually think. It's like you're all kids, you're all at school, you're the same.
Y'all got
Yeah, but even
things
to the
learn.
teachers, she's the same way.
And it was a big deal, and that was a big plot point too, because it's like Harry Potter. Don't worry, you live in a closet or whatever, but you're normal right now. You're like on
Whatever.
equal playing field. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
In this, I think she was maybe a little bit like broken at the beginning, where like she was like
In the first film?
yeah, and maybe that's kind of it. Just maybe didn't sell it well enough or whatever.
Yeah, maybe that's what missed the mark for me, possibly.
Yeah.
But as of right now, she's probably on the opposite end. She's probably my least favorite character at this point.
Josh.
I'm not trying to argue. I'm just trying to like, because I like her so much.
No, it's all good.
more of
Yeah,
like
yeah.
okay, why do I like her? And it's like, okay, so in the first movie, she just had something horrible happen to her again. She had her job taken away from her.
That's
So
what I mean,
now
yeah.
she's trying to prove herself.
She's not on equal playing field, so she doesn't
Yeah.
have that confidence, or she doesn't have that opportunity
Yeah.
to prove herself as much as Hermione does, or whatever.
And so the irony is like the moment when you need to be
Right.
confident, like when
Yeah.
something.
I guess
like,
my argument against it would be that Hermione's not on a playing field either. Like, she's a mudblood.
Mhm.
She
That's a good
has
point. I didn't think
a
about
lot to prove
How
as
rude.
well.
Yeah.
That's a
And
swear.
so, like, for me, I guess I just would have liked to see, like, yes, she has something to prove. So, for me, she doesn't show that she even has confidence in what she has to prove.
That's how she was set up. But then, like Hermione was able to step up and do that and be confident. But they might not have like portrayed it enough in the first
Yeah,
movie.
I'm just saying
So,
for me,
yeah.
like, I didn't
Yeah,
get the
yeah.
feeling that she's a strong,
I can see where you're coming
strong
from.
female character.
For me, I kind of see it where it's like, in a sense of like compared to like Newt. Newt has to make a decision what side he's going to pick. She never had to make that decision.
Mhm.
She knew. And like same way as Newt, when he stutters and stammers in front of people, doesn't make him any less confident around his beasts. And when she like stutters and stammers, it's not that she lacks confidence, but she might be under duress. And those are like two different things, like, because her moral compass is still there. But the
Yeah.
fact that like when you come across like danger or adversity, like your voice can still be shaking.
Yeah.
And I think
and
those,
I'm not. Yeah,
I think those are like some things that like are of the time as
Yeah.
well, because it is a woman in a man's world
Yeah.
at that time.
Fair.
And so there are things where it's like that. But like for me, what always came across of like
but yes, no. Remember, the president is a woman.
of the ministry, yeah. But it's
Yeah.
she's kind of having to go covert and then also be introduced to a dude who's from fucking Europe, and so like there's a lot of new things in her world too.
Yeah.
And so like there's to me, I think she has the kind of she's to me the embodiment of the status quo
Yeah.
over in America,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. That's why it's kind of like this is the American muscle,
Yeah.
and then like she has to kind of like wrestle with everything that Newt throws. And so that's why like I felt like if there was any type of confusion that she had, it was that. But like
Yeah.
other than that, I never felt like she lost herself the way that like Newt.
No,
like,
yeah,
that was,
no.
that was
I'm
his
not
main
saying she lost
development.
herself either. She just doesn't strike me as a strong character.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean,
And that's
on
my
both,
qualm with it.
on both points of the qualms is it's like the sad thing is that there really wasn't enough
That's
of
the problem.
her to even make a.
That was the problem with this
Again,
movie.
both movies.
Yeah.
What we did see of her,
Mhm.
we didn't get that much of who is this person.
Yeah.
So-
and I think, well, I mean,
Because
my qualm is over the span of 2 movies with her. So,
yeah.
and again, this could be my own personal qualm. She doesn't strike me as a strong female character. I would have liked to see her written more in line with what Hermione stands for. But to me,
And I don't think
it
it's
fell
wrong
short.
I don't think it's wrong to draw those comparisons, not just because they're both girls, but I think because I feel like Hermione would be that, like, grow up to be an Auror or something. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of, I can see that happening. Her being like a detective or whatever. But anyways,
She
I think
actually is the minister. Of
That's it
magic,
for me, though.
but,
Moves us to rating. So
rating.
I have
baby.
1. Josh has.
Did I have 2?
You had 2, and
You
Ollie
have
has
2.
2.
Ollie has 2.
So
that's right.
So
Josh,
Josh and
Caitlin,
I.
and myself.
You go.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna give it a 4.7 because I really,
Nice.
really liked it.
Nice.
But I feel
Ma-
that it could have been fleshed out a little bit better. I would have preferred longer.
Mm.
Like, I don't mind sitting in a 3-hour long movie if I can get all of my information
All the
fleshed out
juices.
more and understand it and, feel like they're adequate turning points.
I
and
agree.
things
I
have room to breathe.
honestly think it could have been 2.5. The extra 15 minutes
Yeah.
could have been all they needed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But, I wouldn't be upset about 3 hours either.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I do want to kind of like bring up this idea of like for our audience at home of like we've talked about this a lot where like we want longer run times,
Mm.
but just understanding like why movies are cut down to begin with. It's not because of like wanting to make a better movie. It's literally so they could sell more tickets.
Yeah.
It's so that they can
You get
Yeah.
more
they
showings
can
per
put
day.
more showings per day.
Yeah.
So just everyone at home, as long as you know that, it's like the reason why like Rotten Tomatoes isn't a really good place to kind of
Yeah.
like rate things because it's
Yeah.
out of 100, and then these are all critic reviews, and these are critics who like it or love it. But then if you look at the audience, these are people who actually are geared to watch it.
Yeah.
So
Right.
just knowing these kind of things, like why we say like we're okay with longer movies, but that just means they may not make as much money opening weekends.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is also a dignified like indicator for studios for some
Yeah.
dumb reason.
But
Yeah.
yes.
So
Yeah.
4.7.
I've said yeah.
Nice.
a lot in this.
Josh, you go first.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. I am going to say it is a 4.2.
Whoa.
It's 4.2. You sounded really like, whoa.
No.
No, Corey.
Oh,
like
Corey.
on the other, like, whoa.
Wow.
Wow. No, 4.2.
Okay. Myself, I put out a 4.
Nice.
So it's still in that echelon of like, I'd buy the DVD. Look, to me,
Ollie is giving me a face right now. I'm excited.
if it's
You
not,
want me to go next, Ollie, or you want to go next?
Who are the two?
it's
You and
two.
me.
Okay, you go.
3.8.
Okay.
So
I am a strong 3.7.
Oh,
Look at that.
yes.
Ollie is the grump
was
of the
right.
episode.
Oh, I
Yeah.
knew it.
Crimes of
Nice.
Grumpelwald.
It just
noise.
and I know I shouldn't compare it to Harry Potter, but it just didn't capture the magic
Wow.
that series of movies
Let me put your rating in your
It's
your
a no
bag.
match.
provided.
Yeah.
It's the crimes of Gripelwald.
Yep.
Jesus, no.
Jesus. Should I share? I mean, like, I
I
can
didn't think I'd
compare.
be the grump, but go ahead.
Are we ever going to do an episode on the first one?
I think we should.
We should.
We should.
We'll
Okay,
come
then I'll
back.
say my
We'll have a f-
comparison rating to that.
We'll have a full episode on
Because that's how I found mine. Is in my head I rated the first one, and then
Yeah,
I went back from
That's
there.
kind of what I did too.
We'll have it. We don't know yet. Everyone at home, all you wizards and warlocks, just wizards.
Congratulations,
You
Ollie.
magical folks.
I do want to
take the
gush really
trophy,
quick because it
I
was
guess.
kind of not my
It was so close.
we
favorite.
were really close. I'm
It
surprised.
wasn't my favorite beast, but it also kind of was. It was the kelp dragon thingy.
Kelpie.
Kelpie.
Oh yeah.
I was like, is this
Japanese
a dragon or is this a
That bit,
horse?
Seaweed.
bit the girl.
Oh, the
Inside
seaweed.
his suitcase is just
Yeah.
like fucking. I mean, I was just about to
I-
say magical, but
When they showed
Duh.
that for the first time, dude, that was in the first film. I was like, yes, thank God.
Man, I like. Can that be my favorite magical item?
No.
Favorite
Suitcase?
magical item is a
You
suitcase.
can. It can be when we do the first film.
Hooray! Yeah, we'll do that.
Oh, and that parasite eyeball thing. that
Oh
creeped
no,
me out?
That's
no,
great.
Tom, stop!
I
No,
love-
we don't talk about that. We
But
don't
I-
talk about that in
Calamari.
here.
Corey, do
When
you
he's
have
like, you
Corey,
may want to look away.
Corey, why are you so sick?
Me?
Yeah, do you have a
I'm
parasite?
sick.
Oh. That's what you say. Have a parasite. But like, I was like, oh, I want to see this dragon in the sewers, like, you know, the alligators in the fucking sewers. I was like, oh, I want to see this parasite motherfucker.
Yeah.
But they never did anything with it. But I was like, damn
It was
it.
just a
I know
wormy.
they just brought it to the other room and then it went away.
Just a wormy worm.
They
Worm,
probably
worm.
just put it in the
Um,
sink and we're like, good luck in the sewers.
I also wanted to know about the what was that other beast that looked like the thing from Nightmare Before Christmas?
Is it the
Thing from
kappa?
Nightmare Before
Yeah.
Christmas?
The kappa. That's the Japanese water.
Japanese
The
water.
Japanese water demon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like-
I want more of that.
I want to see the little owlets that have ginormous eyes that he was giving eye drops to.
Yeah, the first one.
Oh, yeah.
They
I-
gave little
In
floating.
the first one, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Crack me up.
I want a lot of them.
also,
More.
we
please.
kind of see Newt building like his fucking Pokedex of Fantastic Beasts.
It's so exciting. I can't wait.
I
until
swear
the
to
book
God,
is-
if
oh.
one of the next movies don't have him like have all of his 3 legendary beasts or some shit, like the Thunderbird, this
Yep,
Zouwoo
yep.
thing, all together at the same time, and then all his friends are riding them.
Oh my god! I didn't even think about that.
I love the fact that the fact that Newt is this wizard who decided his goal in life was to teach the entire wizarding world about these creatures that they feared and killed and hated or whatever. I love this character, and I knew very little about him before these movies came out. I knew who he was and that he wrote this book and stuff, but I wasn't aware that he was like essentially Harry Potter to Dumbledore before Harry Potter came out. Like he was his favorite student before
was the
Harry Potter came
1.0.
along. Yeah, he's Harry Potter 1.0. But I love his idea that like you know, there's these beasts aren't evil and we should learn about them. And I love that.
He didn't graduate from high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, and apparently J.K. Rowling was like, well, hold on, because people were giving her shit about like, well, if he didn't graduate, how can he use magic and how can he do this? And Hagrid wasn't allowed to and da-da-da. And apparently she just said, you'll find out.
Oh.
Oh.
Tom,
So-
tom, ta, tom, tom. But
With that, I
Hagrid
feel
is Dumbledore.
So excited.
I do want to say there was one thing that I was a qualm when I first watched it, but then at the end it made sense with the flashback of the beginning with Newt and Lita and
Yeah.
the way that the camera was working. I hated it at first. And then when they utilized
I
that in
didn't
the
notice it.
flashback, I was like, oh, now I get it.
Now I get
Because it's how they see each other.
oh, yeah.
It's the romanticizing of the characters of each other. And I like it because it's a little French cinema where they do that a lot. That's how they romanticize their characters. And I'm like, I'm cool with that. I'm fine. And like, like
And it's
it's
all
just,
in France.
it was just like a little interesting, like little nod, but also I was like, why the fuck who the fuck is the cinematographer? And then I was like, oh,
Yeah.
make the sense.
Well, on that, I'm complete.
I feel complete.
I
Yeah.
feel
I'm
complete.
pretty complete.
Yeah. Until next time.
Did you complete?
Completus totalis
Yes.
There it is.
in my pantis.
Oh,
Hello.
damn it.
Tom is just running around the hall again, yelling that at everybody. God damn it.
He's got no pants on.
Throw my wand at everything. Let me go get my actual wizarding wand now.
Oh no.
But let us know what you think of the movie.
Yeah.
Who's your
please.
favorite
Yeah.
character?
Yeah.
What's
Slip
your
and
favorite
slide.
part?
What?
Accio DMs.
I like that. I like it. Me like it. Tell us why you also fell in love with Queenie.
Yes.
And Josh, if they wanted to know where they could go to see where all of our social media handles are and whatnot,
You could go to
where do they go?
nerdon.tv
Sentence.
where you can find all of the linky links for Twitter and Instagram and YouTube, written content, all sorts of stuff there.
I like how he said, "Hey, Josh."
Nice.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, he did 100%.
My name is
Stole it.
Josh.
Cool. I'm Caitlin, everybody. But yeah, head on over to that website. But yeah, we are so appreciative of our patrons, of our listeners, of our viewers, all the peeps. We
You guys make it happen.
make it happen. So grateful.
This literally doesn't happen without all of you listening to these words right now. So thank
Every
you
single one of
so
you.
much.
Would you listen to me?
Okay, on that, we've got to end this. As always.
Nerd on.
Ending broadcast.